we'll go from there. All right. I'm going to grab some dinner real quick, and then we'll be back after supper. Back for SPAC. I hope you guys enjoyed Satisfactory Early Hours. That's fun. That's a good... Dude, that game always is fun. Especially when you have something to do. You have like a goal to move towards. It's always a good time. There is plenty of stuff to talk about for space news, so we will go into EJ's Space and Rocket Review. See last, please, before you go. Please, please, see last. Plug in, save the Satisfactory calculator? Yeah, we did that a long time ago. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Let's see. What do we want? Huh? Alright, I'll put that on, Loopy. Why not? But it's not very spacey. Here, I'll open it just for you, buddy. Why do I have it set to show the AIDS plant? Might have to build up another power plant here sooner rather than later. Why is it stuck on that? Dang it. Yep, those are the train tracks. We can put blocks in and stuff. Totally doable. Can you not show all the damn stupid flower poppers? I don't know how to shut them off. I forget how to do it. It's around here somewhere. I'm just hungry, so I'm not finding where I want. But yeah, see? There's the oil lines with the wire harnesses that we made, and I made them all split. See that? And then we have our buffer right there. Our block sidings are something different. What? Alright, here. Let's put this one on. This is from NASA. Alright, I'll be back in a moment, fellas.
Discovery, go at throttle up.
For thousands of years, man observed the rising and setting sun, the cycle of seasons, the fixed stars, and those he called wanderers or planets. And from these observations evolved his notions of the universe. The naked eye extended its vision through instruments that saw the craters on the moon, the changing colors of Mars, and the rings of Saturn. The fantasies, dreams, and visions of space travel became the reality of Apollo. Early in 1970, President Nixon announced the objectives of a balanced space program for the United States that would include the scientific investigation of all the planets in the solar system. Of the 9 planets circling the sun, only the Earth is known to us at first hand. But observational techniques on Earth and in space have given us some idea of the appearance and movement of the planets and enable us to depict their physical characteristics in some detail. Mercury, only slightly larger than the moon, is so close to the sun that it is difficult to observe by telescope. It is believed to be one large cinder with no atmosphere and a day-night temperature range of nearly 1,000 degrees. Venus is perpetually cloud-covered. Spacecraft report a surface temperature of 900 degrees Fahrenheit and an atmospheric pressure 100 times greater than Earth's. We can only guess what the surface is like. Possibly a seething netherworld beneath a crushing, poisonous carbon dioxide atmosphere. Of Mars, the red planet, we have evidence of its cratered surface photographed by the Mariner spacecraft. In this painting of the planet, seen from its inner moon, dust storms sweep the rust-colored surface. Jupiter, nearly 500 million miles from the sun, is the largest of the planets, larger than 1,300 Earths. It outweighs all the other planets, moons, and debris in the solar system combined. Saturn, encircled by a halo of brilliant white rings, is the second largest planet and is twice as far away as Jupiter. In this rendering, Saturn is seen from its moon, Titan. Uranus is a pale blue-green ball 2 billion miles from Earth, traveling a great orbital arc in the intense cold and darkness of the outer solar system. Neptune is the farthest of the giant planets, so far from Earth that no features have ever been seen or photographed. Here, Neptune floats above Triton, one of its 2 moons. Pluto, nearly 4 billion miles away, is probably a snow-covered rock in the dim light of a remote sun. Only once every 175 years are the major planets, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune, so aligned that a spacecraft can visit all 4 on a single flight. The last such planetary arrangement occurred in 1800, when Thomas Jefferson was elected president, and the development of the cotton gin stood at the forefront of American technology. The rare opportunity to probe these planets occurs in this decade, the 1970s, and will not recur until the middle of the 22nd century. Until the flyby of Mariner 4 in 1965, it was thought that Mars was much like the Earth. But the photographs of the Martian surface revealed that the planet was more like the Moon. Later missions photographed more than 2,000 miles of craters. In fact, the famed canals, once believed by some to be the work of intelligent creatures, proved to be chains of craters. This bright Martian desert either escaped the devastation of meteorite bombardment or was smoothed by some powerful eroding process. Yet Mars apparently has no running water that cuts and fills, so the scouring agent was more likely a wind-borne material. Another Marsscape called chaotic terrain brought more surprises to scientists and more questions to be answered. It appears as a maze-like region of jumbled ridges and steep ravines. That Mars is a world of contrasts we now know. The newly acquired knowledge has only whetted man's appetite for continued and more thorough investigations of Mars. The early mariners flew within several thousand miles of the Martian surface, gathering and sending to Earth TV pictures and measurements of temperatures, pressures, and atmospheric and surface chemical composition. The exploration of Mars takes on a major new aspect in the present decade with the intensive investigations by the Mariner 9 orbiter and the Viking landing missions. Mariner 9 is designed to operate in Mars orbit for a minimum of 3 months. Its science experiments are similar to those made 2 years earlier, but data will be gathered over a much longer period. The single 2,200-pound spacecraft is capable of performing much of the mission originally planned for 2 orbiting mariners. It arrives at Mars after a 5.5-month flight from Cape Kennedy and powers its way into an orbit that takes it around Mars once every 12 hours. Primarily a mapping mission, the Mariner television cameras photograph about 80% of the planet. Thermal and chemical maps of the same areas are made with data from other instruments. The overlapping wide-angle and spot coverage narrow-angle pictures are taken at Mariner 9's lowest altitude, about 750 miles. Objects as small as 300 feet across may be seen in the pictures. Mariner's orbit was designed to produce a continuous swath around Mars once each 17 days, making it possible to study seasonal effects on the red planet at 17-day intervals. One objective is to investigate what appears to be a wave of darkening that originates at the poles and spreads toward the equator as the polar caps recede, apparently responding to springtime increases in temperature and humidity. During the 90-day period, Mariner 9 transmits to Earth thousands of pictures and several billion other science measurements. Much of this information will be used in planning the 1975 Viking lander mission to Mars. One of the most important and dramatic investigations to be conducted during the next 10 years is the search for life beyond Earth. If extraterrestrial life does exist in the solar system, it is most likely on Mars. For that reason, Mars remains the prime target of the planetary exploration program. The Viking landers will carry life detection instruments right to the surface of Mars for some first-hand field work. The 2 Vikings are double spacecraft, orbiters similar to Mariner 9, and landers sealed inside biocanisters and sterilized to prevent Earth microbes from reaching Mars and complicating the search for life. The lander will touch down gently, then prepare itself for an on-site scientific investigation of the planet. Viking will tell its story in its own voice about its observations on Mars, about the surface, the velocity of the wind, the humidity and pressure of the thin atmosphere, and most important, whether there is any evidence of life now or in the past. Meanwhile, the orbiter remains overhead, keeping watch on the landing site, operating as a relay station, and conducting its own science experiments and photographic mapping. Their missions completed, the orbiters will continue circling the planet with Martian moons Phobos and Deimos for many years. The Viking surface laboratories will remain and may provide landmarks for the first Earthmen who visit Mars, just as surveyors stood in wait of the Apollo astronauts. To astronomers, Venus has been perhaps the most frustrating object in the skies. The most powerful telescope on Earth cannot penetrate the dense cloud cover that hides its surface features. In 1973, another Mariner, 10th in the series, will set out for Venus, this time to continue on to Mercury, the Sun's innermost and smallest satellite. The spacecraft will be the first to use a natural resource of the solar system, the gravity of one of its planets, to help it reach another planet. Venus will change Mariner's speed and flight path, aim it at Mercury, and make it possible to explore 2 planets for the price of 1. The spacecraft will skim past Venus at an altitude of about 3,000 miles, make an abrupt turn, and encounter Mercury on its altered trajectory. A pair of television cameras will take several thousand pictures of each planet. Both will be equipped with powerful telescopes. Other instruments will analyze the solar wind, a perpetual flow of low-energy particles from the sun producing a kind of interplanetary weather, high-energy charged particles that bombard the planets and vary in intensity as the sun rages and subsides, temperatures of the cloud tops at Venus, and the structure and composition of the planet's upper atmosphere. As the spacecraft approaches Venus, the planet is almost between the sun and Mariner. Only a slender lighted crescent is visible. The crescent grows as the 2 TV cameras alternately take pictures, beginning about 25 minutes and 10,000 miles from Venus. Cloud motion, cloud layer separation, and sunrise and sunset on the planet will be studied in the pictures. Scientists are hopeful that the Venus pictures may show a glimpse of the surface through a hole in the apparently solid blanket of clouds. Thus far, only radar beams from Earth have been able to penetrate the cloud layer. Bright spots in this radar map, made in 1969, may be mountain ranges or possibly huge depressions. Mercury travels a tight 3-month orbit around the sun. Just a few years ago, it was thought that Mercury's rotational and orbital rates were synchronous. That is, 1 day equals 1 year with the same side always facing the sun. But recent radar astronomy has shown that the tiny planet rotates 1.5 times each orbit. Mariner's high-resolution pictures of Mercury will cover the planet something like this during the first hour after encounter, and like this during the following hour. Experimenters studying Mercury may receive a substantial science bonus. 6 months after Mariner flies by the planet, while Mercury swings twice around the sun, Mariner will have gone 1 full circle and the 2 again cross paths. This time, scientists will view the planet from a different angle, looking down at the North Pole. These computer-generated plots show how Mercury will appear to the passing Mariner. Early in this decade, the United States will make the first reconnaissance flights to Jupiter in a search for basic facts about the giant gas ball and some clues to the origin of the solar system. 2 spacecraft called Pioneers begin their long voyages in 1972 and 1973. 13 science experiments will study the uncharted regions of space beyond the orbit of Mars during the 600 to 900-day flights. The Pioneers will spend 6 months to a year crossing the asteroid belt, a vast no-man's land of space debris that orbits the sun between Mars and Jupiter. The asteroid belt is 150 million miles wide. Several thousand asteroids are large enough to be assigned numbers, and some even names. An objective of the Pioneer mission is to determine the risk factor involved in traversing the belt. Mission planners believe the chance of being struck by a particle large enough to jeopardize the mission is quite low. Sizes and numbers of particles will be measured by counting penetrations of these cells. 4 telescopes will observe the brightness, speed, and direction of asteroids. Another instrument will measure sunlight reflected from asteroids and cosmic dust. A continuous stream of information will be transmitted back to scientists. Measurements of interplanetary magnetic fields, the solar wind, galactic and solar protons and electrons, and the elements that make up cosmic ray particles. Even at the speed of light, these messages take nearly 3/4 of an hour to reach Earth. Pioneer will pass within 100,000 miles of Jupiter, increasing in velocity as it feels the pull of the planet's enormous gravity. From here, Jupiter fills the sky, colorful in stripes of pink and blue, pale grays, browns, and yellows. Scientists want to know what chemicals produce these colors, why a planet so large can rotate more than twice as fast as Earth, whether it has a solid surface below the seething layers of clouds, and why Jupiter radiates 3 times the energy it receives from the sun. What causes the enormous red spot several times the diameter of Earth? And why does the dark red oval float at random with respect to the planet's motion? Conditions on Jupiter today may be very much like those most scientists think existed on primitive Earth several billion years ago when life began. Pioneer experimenters will attempt to establish proportions of some of the elements that make up this primeval atmosphere. Instruments will measure Jupiter's magnetic field and trapped radiation, both believed to be many times as strong as those on Earth. Temperatures, which may range from -200 degrees at cloud tops to thousands of degrees above zero in the interior, will be measured. A comfortable zone may exist somewhere in the atmosphere. After its swing by Jupiter, one Pioneer will eventually escape the solar system, the first man-made object to do so. And the other may leave the plane in which the planets orbit the sun, passing millions of miles above the orbits of the inner planets. What we learn about the gravitational effects of Jupiter will be used in planning multi-planet missions to the outer planets in the last half of the decade. Observations made with Earth telescopes have provided only tantalizing bits of information about the far-ranging outer planets. We look to spaceflight for some of the answers. Saturn is the only planet with rings. Why? When were they formed? Are the rings the remnants of a former Saturnian moon, or are they made up of tiny ice crystals? The thickness of the rings has been estimated to be anywhere from a few inches to a few miles. On Uranus, seasons of the year must be odd in the extreme. The planet's rotational axis is in the plane of its orbit around the sun, making Uranus appear to lie on its side. Each pole is in sunlight for 42 years, then remains in chill darkness during the other half of its 84-year orbit. Neptune is virtually unknown. It is about the size of Uranus, abides near the frigid edge of the solar system, and is circled by 2 moons. One, Triton, is almost as large as the planet Pluto. It has been suggested that Pluto may be an escaped moon of Neptune. Moons abound in the regimes of the outer planets. Jupiter alone has 12. 4 of them are large enough to have been discovered by Galileo's simple telescope and are called the Galilean satellites. They are Io, Europa, Ganymede, larger than the planet Mercury, and Callisto, larger than Earth's moon. Io is distinctly orange and appears to be brighter when it emerges from Jupiter's shadow than when it goes into eclipse. Saturn has 10 moons. One, Titan, is larger than Earth's moon and is known to have an atmosphere. Overhead, Titan's sky may be like Earth's, blue instead of black. Another Saturnian moon, Iapetus, could be the strangest of all. It varies in brightness as it orbits Saturn. 6 times brighter on one side of the planet than on the other. Why? No one can explain. If a spacecraft were launched from Earth directly to Neptune or Pluto, the journey would take 30 years. But there is an intriguing indirect way of getting to the most remote precincts of the solar system in less than 1/3 that time. Jupiter is the key. Its immense gravity adds momentum to a passing spacecraft, slinging it towards the next planet in a multi-planet tour. The spacecraft virtually steals a bit of energy from Jupiter, which will never be missed. Using this technique, engineers and scientists are planning missions to explore all of the outer planets during the 1970s and 1980s. These missions, each directed toward 3 planets so that all 5 outer planets will be visited, are called Grand Tours. Beginning in 1976 and 1977, Grand Tour spacecraft would fly past Jupiter, Saturn, and on out to Pluto. The complete trip would take about 9 years. Jupiter again is the initial target in 1979. Then on to Uranus and Neptune. By 1988, scientists could be analyzing data gathered at close hand from every major body in the solar system. The dominant feature of the Grand Tour spacecraft is its radio antenna, about 14 feet in diameter. Power is supplied by small nuclear generators that convert heat into electricity. Science instruments are mounted at the opposite end of the spacecraft and on long booms far from the radioactive source. At the Neptune or Pluto phase of a mission, the need for almost total independence from Earth control is essential. The time for radio signals to travel from Neptune to Earth is about 4 hours. Thus, it would take twice that long, 8 hours, for ground controllers to become aware of a spacecraft malfunction and make the necessary correction by radio command. Any trouble in the Grand Tour spacecraft would be detected, diagnosed, and remedied by a special computer, the spacecraft brain. Normal operation would resume without ground control intervention. Besides satisfying the compelling urge of man to explore the unknown, exploration of the planets is returning information to help us better understand our own planet, Earth. How it began, how it is evolving, and how to maintain the delicate environmental balance which provides us such a comfortable home in space. Astronomers and cosmologists have estimated there may be as many as 100,000 other planetary systems, many similar to our own, among the stars of the Milky Way. Future generations will not lack for new worlds to explore. But our generation of the 1970s will have pointed the way.
Not bad. Not bad. Not bad. Now, there were some outdated facts in there. There was some outdated information in there. But yeah, that's pretty good. That's pretty neat. Pretty neat. We have a metric buttload of space news today. I'm just going to start transferring links over. There is a buttload. Quote, unquote, buttload. But let's go over here like that. Dun 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 dun. I don't know where. Okay. There's a lot of stuff. I gotta transfer all the links. I gotta make sure that there was no redundant links in chat either. I don't think that there was, but okay. Yep, couple of redundant links in here. I am sweating, man. It is hot, even with the air conditioner on. It is hot in here. Look at this, just on a side note. I'm like dripping sweat. It's a little warm in here. It's a little warm, don't you think? It's a little warm in here. Even with the AC going at full blast. Dude, the AC can't keep up with the amount of heat that those things are putting off. The heat exchange rate between the heat generated and the heat put out from that, or the heat converted from that air conditioner is not, yeah, it's not very humid in here, but it is warm. All right, so for everybody that uses the regular units, yeah, check that out. It's 85 in here. It's pretty warm. It's pretty warm. We got up to a brisk 90 degrees today. There's been a lot of stuff like a lot of stuff got announced today. A lot of interesting space news here. There's stuff from supersonic passenger planes to, you know, companies that have never launched a thing into space deciding they want to go to Mars. I already got that. Okay. No desk fan? Oh, I have a desk fan, and it is going at full blast, dude. Booster 7.1 is currently being loaded with liquid nitrogen. All right, how about we start... Let's start with plane news, shall we? Let's go over here. Okay. There's a small promo video from Lockheed Martin here, and we'll start with that. We'll see what they're up to. See what our boy, it's your boy Lockheed Martin, you know, with a Dark Star on their second quarter 2022 highlights. The Dark Star is on there. Yep, okay.
We unveiled our partnership in creating a conceptual hypersonic aircraft for Top Gun Maverick. And while Dark Star may be fictional, hypersonic capabilities are real. We completed successful hypersonic flight tests on Arrow, designed for the U.S. Air Force, and on the DARPA Hawk program. These historic flights reached speeds exceeding Mach 5. At a large-scale military exercise in the Pacific, we provided a glimpse of the future of joint all-domain operations. An integrated approach where systems operate together across land.
Oh, I like this.
Air, space,
that's nice.
And cyber.
That's nice.
We delivered the 800th F-35
Wait, you're cybering
and reached
with who?
500,000 flight hours, providing unrivaled air power globally. Power on. Orion Artemis II spacecraft fired up its computers for the first time, a key milestone to fly astronauts to the moon in 2024. The X-59 experimental aircraft, designed to reduce loud sonic booms, moved closer to a supersonic flight over land. With the signing of the 10th Black Hawk contract, the U.S. Army will continue to operate the helicopter for the next several decades.
When SB-1? Excuse me.
In May, the President visited our facility in Troy, Alabama, where we build Javelin anti-tank missiles that are vital to the war in Ukraine.
Hey, at least shaking people's hands. That's important. All right. Neat. So that was Lockheed. I love how... Oh, yeah. We built a fictional plane for Top Gun. But we do have this capability. But we built a fictional plane. We built a fictional plane, but we... What? Yeah, fictional. Fiction. That means it doesn't exist. But we can make stuff go Mach 5. But it's fictional plane. It's fiction. It's false. It's fiction. We made it up. It never happened. It's false. It's fiction.
It's false. No way. Not this time.
Not this time.
We created it.
We created
Not
it.
this time.
Not this
No.
time. Total
Not this
fabrication.
time. It's totally made up.
Totally
Pure
made up.
fiction.
Pure fiction.
It's fiction.
Fiction.
It's fiction. We made it up. We made this one up. It's a made-up tale.
It's a made-up
total
tale.
Fabrication.
Total fabrication.
It never happened.
Never happened.
It never happened.
It never
This
happened.
one was invented by a writer. Not this time. It never happened. It's false.
It's false.
It never happened.
Never happened.
It's a fake.
It's a fake.
It's fiction.
It's fiction.
It's an urban legend.
It's an urban legend.
It never happened.
It's never happened.
No way.
No way.
We got you.
We got you.
Not a chance. Not this time. It never happened.
Is this annoying yet? Good, I'm gonna keep doing it.
It never happened.
Never happened.
We made this one up.
We made this one up.
It's fiction.
It's fiction.
We made up this
We
one.
made it up.
We made it up.
False.
Not this time.
Not this
Wrong.
time. Wrong.
Not this time. Not this time.
No.
You're wrong. Not
Nope.
this time. It never happened.
Is that William T. Riker? Yes. Now we know what he does off stream. False. It's fiction. We made it up. Never happened. It never happened. So the Farnborough Air Show is going on right now. Farnborough. Oh, we're going to go to the Farnborough Air Show. We're going to watch the airplanes fly around, mate. We're going to watch the airplanes fly around. We're going to watch the airplanes go do this, mate. Look. So this is coming from Boeing. Boeing decided to demo their new planes. You want to develop an app? Okay, that plane's not supposed to do that. Alright, it's doing it, though. Nice. Oh, that's nice. Rock your wings if you intend to comply. Nice. Very nice. Very nice. I've seen this footage 1,000 times but at this point, but god damn, that's cool. Whoa! Okay. So, all right. I don't like to pause the videos too much, but did you see that plane that was? You see that plane that was flying around before? Its fuselage is as big as the diameter of the engine. Yeah, you're welcome. That plane is huge. Hey, beautiful. That is such a nice plane, man. Oh my goodness. Whoa! RB? You have pizza? Oh gosh. That was, is that the biggest single decker there is then? This 777? The 777's huge, man, yeah. That plane is as big as a 747. It's as big as a 747, yeah. It's a single deck though. It's the world's biggest twin jet. Yeah, I think it's what's the Airbus equivalent? A350, I think. No, not an A350. A330, maybe? Maybe? I don't know. I forget. I think the A350 is supposed to be the comparable to the Dreamliner. It's one or the other, but either way. That plane is gigantic, man. That is a wide body. That's a wide body, so it means there's 2 aisles down the fuselage. That's a huge plane. Yeah, look at the tiny little door. And then the first shots you saw flying around was the 7.3. That was the 7.3-10. Oh yeah, that is a pretty airplane, and it can do that. Okay. That has 2 G and X engines on it. The same engines that they put on what is it? On the 7.8, if I'm remembering right. Woo! So Boeing has sold over 400 airplanes at Farnborough this year. Just thought I'd let you know. That is a nice plane. You know what's crazy? The 7.3 is started as a shortened 2-engine version of a 707. That's basically where it started. It was a 2-engine version of a 707 with a smaller cockpit for regional flights. That's what the 737 is supposed to do. 737 has since basically been enlarged back to 707 size, which is hilarious to me, but also at the same time, this thing is probably making more thrust than an original 707 with 2 engines, when the original 707 definitely has 4. If I counted right from the tweet announcements, 458. Nice. Yeah, none of the planes that we're talking about here are 74-8s, Clayton, but yeah, the 74-8 is still a nice plane. Yeah. And demonstration flights are very useful. Ask Tex Johnson. Yeah, baby. Very nice. Very nice. That's a nice plane, man. Wait, is the 330 longer? I don't know much about him. Yeah, I don't know much about inferior aircraft. Yeah, me neither, dude. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what you mean. I have no idea what you're talking about. All right. Anyway, so that's what's going on. But here, check this out. There is some more plane news. So Northrop Grumman tweeted this here. Take a look. Feeling the need for speed in collaboration with Boom Aero. We're offering special mission supersonic aircraft to the U.S. government and our allies. Ah. I can't, Snake. It's too hot. I'll start dripping sweat everywhere. No, the one after that, about the 737 engines. No, those are CFM Leap Bs. They're similar to the Leap As on the A320neo. Ew. Airbus, more like dump bus. Got him. Northrop Grumman is partnering with Boom Aerospace. Now, Boom Aerospace, what they're trying to do here is this. They're trying to make supersonic passenger planes again, but they're not trying to make the sonic boom quiet. They're trying to address the other problem of supersonic transport. But here, we'll watch the promo video first, and then I'll explain a little bit more. No, it ain't no UAV.
It's about time. Time to turn the past into the present. Time to create the world's fastest airliner, optimized for speed, safety, and sustainability.
And going the distance.
Time to make flying, flying.
And
Meet
going
the refined
for
design.
Speed.
Overture. Sculpted for speed and safety. Engineered for a sustainable future. It's about time to enter a new era of supersonic travel. Time to turn the future into the present. It's about time. Boom.
Boom.
Supersonic.
Boom. Very interesting. This, the revised version of the Boom Overture aircraft looks a lot... I'm getting some real vibes from certain airplanes here of the past. Particularly concept ones. I'm definitely seeing Concorde-style Delta Wing, but it's like... It's next level Delta. Like, you could tell that it's swept in certain areas, right? Yeah, look at that. It's a more CFD-analyzed version of Concorde's wing. But, yeah, with the engine design, I'm getting some 2707 vibes. The Boeing 2707 was Boeing's entrance into the supersonic transport market. They ended up never doing it because they figured out they were making a plane that nobody wanted. Yeah. Compare it, yeah, you compare it to the previous design. Yeah, that's the previous design. That looks a lot more like Concorde. This one looks a lot more like a 2707, which is very interesting. Even the wing shape is almost exactly the same. The 2707 never existed as more than a mock-up, which is a damn shame. The 2707 originally was supposed to be a gigantic swing wing, for the people that want to know. Yeah, it's supposed to be a big swing wing. Literally one of the craziest aircraft ever devised by man, and then Boeing wimped out on it. It's a shame. Shame. They didn't do the swing wing, and then they switched to a fixed wing design like that. It's actually kind of crazy how much it actually looks like it. That's what they designed, and if you look at Overture, it's basically a 2707. Oh no, it's awesome. They should have made it. That's basic, dude. It's even following area rule like the 2707 does. That's a Boeing 2707. It's exactly the same.
Discovery, go at throttle up.
Huh. NASA just made you start at 11 a.m. tomorrow. NASA will hold a briefing tomorrow at 11 a.m. to discuss the next steps of the... I have errands to do tomorrow, Thomas. But I don't want to miss that either. Gonna have to stop a little bit early tonight, I think, after Space News. Alright, no problem. We took your plane. Boom! Design convergence, as they say. Yeah, for sure. New York to London in 3 hours and 30 minutes. So that doesn't go as fast as Concorde. Concorde could do it in 2. Eight hours for LA to Sydney. That's not bad. So this plane looks like it's going to cruise around Mach 1.5. How long was Tokyo to Seattle? 4 hours. Frick. Yeah, that really... Look at the area rule. See how it's thick in the front and skinny in the back? That's better for airspeed at supersonic speeds. Think like Falcon 9 with the big bulbous fairing up at the front and then a skinny back. Once you start going faster, that shape becomes more efficient, like a teardrop almost. It's following a principle called area rule, or Whitcomb's area rule. I don't know everything about it, but I know enough to know that that's what's going on there. The website says Mach 1.7. Yeah, that's not... I said 1.5. That's not as fast as Concorde, but it's still pretty friggin' quick. Oh yeah, it said 1.7 right there. Nice. If only I did this thing called reading. Interesting. And then it looks like they partnered with Northrop Grumman. Feeling a need for speed and collaboration with Boom Aero, we're offering special mission supersonic aircraft to the U.S. government and allies. I'm gonna put the... What? Look at this. Huh. I wonder what that's going to be used for. For Pacific travel, it makes sense to me, maybe Atlantic, but I live in the Midwest and I've never flown, so what do I know? You've never been on an airplane? Huh. Interesting. The parents. Concorde, man. That's nice. Yeah, that's nice. Oh, Convair. I don't think it's so much a B-58 as it looks more like a 2707. Never. I live in the middle of the country. I drive everywhere. That's fair. Interesting. So that's what's coming out. That's what's going from Boom right there. They completely redesigned it. Now, if you're wondering about scale, it looks like this thing's probably going to be the size of like a, I don't know, what would you guys say? An E190, CRJ 600, 737, somewhere around that it's going to be maybe a little smaller than the 737-10 that you just saw. 172. No. No, Barak, but that sounds cool. I'll believe it when I see ones rolling down the taxiways. Yeah. Yeah, Findale. I don't blame you. Yeah, that's not a big plane, but man, they're using J85s with a retrofitted afterburner. They have a GE J85, and Boom actually modified them to have afterburners. So that J85s are the same engine that they put in T-38s. But T-38s have no reheat as far as I know. If you go and look at Boom's website, if you look at their YouTube channel, they talk all about it in here. Maybe that, man, you know what? Maybe that was somebody else. I have to go. 65 versus 100 for the Concorde, yep. You already read about this? About what? Blows my mind that they're going to be built in North Carolina. The Southeast is turning into the next center of aerospace manufacturing. Sorry, Seattle. And they got tech, it's fine. They got tech. It's fine. Yeah, I didn't. I've covered them in the past, RJ, but I haven't really read too much, you know. First flight for Overture is planned for 2026. Interesting. Interesting. All right, cool. So, speaking of collabs here, there is a very, very strange one going on here. This is coming from Impulse Space Propulsion. Impulse Space Propulsion was a company that was founded last year, looking at optimizing spacecraft, like on-orbit spacecraft propulsion, and it looks like they're collaborating with Relativity. And this is what they announced today. I'm just going to pause it so you can read it. I'll say it for the people that are listening. In 2024, Impulse will send its Mars cruise vehicle and Mars lander on Relativity's fully reusable, entirely 3D printed rocket, Terran R, marking the first commercial mission to the Red Planet. I know, Boxy. What year is it? What year is it? The Dubs. Is it 2010? This music's so dirty it clogged my sink. Are you ready? Do you know? What year is it? What year is it? Where's this music coming from, man? All right. So Terran R is Relativity's supposedly fully reusable Falcon 9 sized vehicle here. If you go back, you see how the nose of Terran R opens. Oh, if I get to listen to this absolute banger, I'll listen. Yeah, here we go. Scorp, what's going on? All right, so that's actually a huge partnership. So Impulse is, if you don't know about Impulse, the company's founder is Tom Mueller. Tom Mueller, to say the least, is if there were like trading cards for, you know, like famous rocket engineers who developed like rockets, like Von Braun would have a trading card, Elon would have a trading card, obviously, you know, like there'd be a Neil Armstrong trading card or whatever. Tom Mueller would definitely be on there. The reason why he would be on there is because Dizer, 41-month resub. The reason why he'd be on there is because Tom Mueller invented the Merlin engine for Falcon 9. He was SpaceX's president of propulsion for a long time. He basically designed the power plant for Falcon 9. Merlin 1, so the Merlin 1A, 1B, 1C, 1D, 1D vac. Or just Merlin vacuum at this point. Yeah, they're his design. So he left SpaceX a couple of years ago, but he still like collaborates with them, basically, and he still like does like consulting work, I guess, with SpaceX, from what I understand, for Raptor and whatnot. But he has his own company that's working on on-orbit propulsion. He didn't design the Raptor. No, he's helped with it, but he didn't design it. So yeah, Tom Mueller's, yeah, that's no joke. And it looks like he partnered with Relativity, which is Relativity was founded by a guy named Tim Ellis. Tim Ellis is the CEO, and what Relativity is doing is trying to pioneer like 3D printing most of your major subcomponents and, well, most of your major components for a rocket. So they're working on like 3D printing tanks, engines, stuff like that. Not like tanks, like tracked vehicles, like fuel tanks. Relativity they have their Terran 1 rocket on the launch pad at LC-16, and we're doing spin start tests yesterday, if I'm remembering correctly. Other people were doing spin start tests yesterday as well. But I digress. Yeah, it's very interesting because we've seen like a little bit of flight hardware from Relativity, but we haven't seen a lot of flight hardware. And neither Impulse nor Relativity has launched anything into space ever. So Relativity's kind of idea is that they can 3D print so they can go fast. They have their first test article and flight vehicle out on the pad, a test article that will become flight vehicle. And the second one's already being made right now. So Relativity is trying to, I mean, keep in mind, this is their Terran 1 vehicle, and they said in just 2 years they're going to have a fully reusable vehicle ready to go, which is, that's ambitious, but I think they can get it done. But keep in mind, like, they haven't launched much into space, but, you know, this is a tour de force when it comes to, you know, collaborations. Who designed Raptor? Do we know? Technically, the U.S. Air Force. Alleviate, if you want to be very technical, use the U.S. Air Force. So Raptor was based off of, Raptor's primary inspiration was based off of the Air Force's integrated powerhead demo design from the early 2000s. The integrated power, I think it's called the integrated powerhead. It's like IHP or IHC or whatever that's called. The integrated powerhead design allows, basically, you have your turbine, you have your turbo shaft and your pumps basically suspended. It uses hydrostatic bearings in the turbo pump design, and the integrated powerhead didn't really get anywhere. They made the powerhead, so they made the turbo pumps, and that's it. And then SpaceX used that information to make Raptor. Because the reason why is because the hydrostatic bearing powerheads that are on Raptor are capable of spinning at extremely high speeds, supporting the full flow stage combustion cycle. Funny story is that the BE-4 actually uses the same data, believe it or not. The BE-4 and the Raptor have a common lineage. Not a lot of people know that. Hey, Linux. Yeah, what are subcomponents? Parts, fuel tanks, rocket engines, pipes, fittings. Did you comment on Elon's tan? Did I comment on Elon's tan? What? What is Elon's tan? What does that mean? I don't know what that means. What is that? I don't understand. Are you talking about like this? Like skin? Is that what we are? Or are we talking? Is that something I don't know? Paparazzi photos of him shirtless on a boat. Yeah. Snickers, I don't care. Yeah. I mean, I'm sure someone gives a frick somewhere. But yep. It's not me. Yeah, that's not me. I mean, I'm sure Elon's probably he probably has a computer nerd bod. If I had to guess, it's probably flabby like this. If I had to guess, just putting it out there. What year do you think is more realistic for relativity and impulse? I don't know, Livid. It's hard to say. There's not a lot of people out there. There's not a lot of people out there that would set such ambitious goals that I would believe are able to achieve them. Yeah, since it's Tom Mueller and since it's Tim Ellis, I think that that's doable. It's doable, but that's going to be a difficult goal. As always, you have a payload that's designed for a rocket that doesn't exist yet, and I understand relativity is supposed to be able to bridge the gap and make manufacturing quicker through their 3D printing, so it is possible. But yeah, I don't know. If it was anybody else, I'd say yeah, that's not happening. But since there's such very, 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 very knowledgeable partners involved here, Tom Mueller. Yeah, I'm kind of curious. It's kind of a wild card. You know what I mean? Can I see your tan? Are we here to talk about rockets or bodies? You want to see my tan? Here, there you go. Here, is this a skincare channel now? Dude, is that what you guys want to talk about? You guys seem very, very, very into it. Look, yep, farmer's tan. Yep. See, look, yeah, I know. It's weird, huh? It's because when I work, when I go outside, I usually am working. Is this what you want? I said flabby. Here, yeah. See, you can just look at this for the next. We can just look at this for the next 5 minutes. Got any moisturizer requirements? I don't do any of this. All I do is take a shower every day, at the beginning and the end of the day. Sometimes I don't do it at the end of the day. It really depends. Today, I'm sweating my balls off here. So yes, I'm going to take a shower after stream because I don't need my bedroom to smell like a gym locker. All I do is make sure that I wash every day. No, Dead Crew. Nope. This is... You guys asked for this. I'm going to sit here for another couple minutes. Nope. You guys here. In fact, this is what you get to see now. This is what you guys get to see. Yeah, you like this farmer's tan? You shouldn't. No, not back to relativity yet, Shortline. No. Nope. Nope, not back to relativity, not yet. think I've gone to heaven. Not yet. Is the sun out? I wouldn't call this a gun. It's flabby and gross. Sure Brimo appreciates it? Probably. Probably. Think that non-tan blew out the sensor in the camera? Yeah, wait till you see that. It's pretty bad, dude. Back to space news. Nope. No, Jim. Nice try. Nope. Nope. You guys still got another minute of this. Oh, man, am I tired. Fake tan, you use bronzer. If I was using bronzer, would I voluntarily bronze a freaking farmer's tan like that? No, just gotta stop right here. Just gotta stop right there. Yep. Nope. Yes? What are you talking about, man? Why not do both? Because chat wanted to talk about Elon's body and tan lines and stuff, and then mine, which is just very weird. I tried to change the subject back to space multiple times. This is clearly what you want to talk about. You can't do shirt off, Ando. Yes, Supergraph, sure. Almost there. It's just re-entry, yeah, see? It's just ablative. It's been a minute. I said 5 minutes. See? Now we're back to normal. Anyway, yeah, so like I said, Relativity and Impulse, they have a lot of experienced personnel, but they themselves haven't done anything. But fellas, I don't know. Should we count them out? Should we not? I don't know. There are other pundits that seem to be very much counting them in regardless. So, okay. I want you to read this sentence. Or read this paragraph here. This is coming from Eric over at ours here. Relativity Space has not launched a single rocket, and Impulse Space has never tested one of its thrusters in space. Now they say they're going to Mars. It's probably worth taking them seriously. Man, if only, you had that totally unbiased optimism across the board there, guy. I'm pretty sure that's the opposite of what you're supposed to do. Honestly, I think they're biting off a lot more than they can chew. So, Hellfish, here's the thing. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know for sure. I don't know for sure. There is a lot of really, really, really accomplished personnel, especially on the Impulse side of things. The talent is definitely there. But the talent was there for something like the Apollo program. The Apollo program was about as ambitious as you get. It took 400,000 people. Just because you have the talent doesn't mean it's going to get done quickly, necessarily. Unless Tim Ellis in Relativity knows something that we don't about manufacturing rockets, which is very, very, very much true. But, once again, I don't want to be a jerk, but that technology is unproven. They've never launched anything into space. But also at the same time, I'm not doubting relativity at all. I think their methods for 3D printing rockets are very good. That's a very smart idea, a very smart way to do that. And clearly they have investors that think the same thing, that think they're onto something. So it's possible. But yeah, that is a very ambitious goal. You know, are they going to rapid prototype Terran like with Starship? That's the idea, because they can 3D print short line. Yes. Impulse has demoed their thrusters, Silekovsky, but that's about it. Yeah, like, once again, here's the thing. Like, this is what Jeff Faust is saying about it. Look, company that has yet to conduct a launch plans to partner with a company that has yet to launch any payloads to fly a Mars lander mission in 2024. Like, I wish everybody the utmost success. Anybody that has the stones to put their money where their mouth is and spend money on aerospace has my respect, unconditionally. This is a very hard thing to do, and if you have, like I said, you have the stones to back it up with money or investors or something, you have my respect. This is a hard industry to be in. It's tough. Very tough. So I wish them all the best. I don't know if 2024 is ambitious or not, because if relativity wasn't 3D printing rockets, then I'd be like, no. Yeah, that's probably not happening. Especially with a Terran R, fully reusable. I doubt that that's going to be a thing. Now, they're not, though. They're 3D printing. And 3D printing offers them to be able to move faster than everybody else. So this is doable. It is doable. And to be fair, that's probably what Eric went on to say in his article. That's probably what he went on to say in the article. The R's article. I didn't have a chance to read it just yet. So he probably baited people in with that line, get for the clicks. You know what I'm saying? That's most likely what's going on. I'm not gonna say that I like it, but hey, whatever. Let's not give him any credit. Yeah, I know. I really wish that optimism was uniformly, issued across, all of the reporting, but hey, it's good. The main engines of Terran R will also see flight on Terran 1 as a block upgrade. Yep. Well, Foss, I don't know. Relativity's engineering pathways are very different than most, to the point where I'm confident enough to say that I don't know. I know that the company's goals is to do rapid prototyping because they can 3D print. They can manufacture for less than everybody else. So, it's a wild card. I don't know. If they were like a conventional rocket company and they said they needed to make a fully reusable vehicle in 2 years and then launch a payload to Mars on said fully reusable vehicle, I'd be like, yeah, no, that's not happening. Yep. Nope. That's the thing. That is a thing that is in fact not happening. But it's a wild card because Relativity's whole mission goals is to improve the manufacturing bottlenecks that are associated with traditional rocketry. So, I don't know. It might be doable. It is a very ambitious goal, but Relativity is going to have to solve that whole rapid prototype manufacturing thing. That's not an easy thing to solve. Hey, Human Will, how are you? More space. All right, yeah, Phil, we already got it. I'm going to stop the stream after space news tonight because I'm going to get up early for that one because I have some errands to do in the morning. Will space launch anytime soon, in your opinion? Will space launch anytime soon, in my opinion? Scorp, I'm going to assume that SpaceX, August, I'm going to guess, for Starship. Late August at this point. Skimming through the article, there isn't anything spicy from Eric. Most of it seems to be saying with what you're saying. Short line, that's what I mean. He baited people in with that. He baited people in. Eric isn't stupid. Just from time to time, his headlines is like nails on a chalkboard for me, But hey, whatever. I ain't gonna get mad. It's all right. It gives us content here on the stream. So his clickbaity title gave me some content. So I've been trying not to get up his tail too much lately, dude. It's just whatever. This tweet begs to differ. This better not be... Oh, okay. It's the near future. Starship is up and running. It has delivered astronauts to the moon. SLS is also flying. What is the reason? What reason is there to develop SLS? Bingo. Bingo. Yep. As well they should. Maybe they'll think of giving... That's not happening. Oh, that's good. That was a good... That was funny. Oh, gosh. Oh, my God. Oh, that's good. Oh, I needed that. That was great. even Scotty's like, that's not how that works at all. I love Scott. Scott's the best. That's funny as hell, man. Your response to J.K. Simmons. Oh, God, I'm going to start coughing. Oh, no. Oh, man. Very nice. Very nice, RJ. That looks good, man. Made a Saturn V in Kerbal. Sweet. Pretty good. Yeah, that's, yeah. Yeah, like I said, if only that undying optimism was afforded throughout all your reporting. But like I said, Eric knows what's going on. Try not to get up his tail. There's plenty of other people. There's plenty of other people in the spaceflight industry that are honestly worse than him. There's a lot of people out there on space Twitter that have, you know, shoe size level IQ takes on things, which is, yeah, it's all right. Like I said. You know what, fellas? I had an epiphany a little while back. You know what that epiphany was? All this stuff, all these tweets, all this other stuff, I can sit there and I can explain to you why it's wrong, why I think it's not right, why this person has no idea what they're talking about. You know what? That's content for the stream, man. It's content for the stream. Ain't no skin off my nose. You know, ain't no skin off my nose. It's fine. These people keep spouting your lukewarm takes. That's fine with me. I'll keep telling you that it's wrong because it is. It's all right. It's all good, man. I don't have any problem with it no more. You know? But either way, I hope Impulse and Relativity do well. I think there's crazy potential with both of those companies, and I hope that potential gets realized. I really do. I really hope they do good. That, especially Relativity with that 3D printing. Tim Ellis is a freaking genius, man. Yeah, Grab Shark, I don't let it bother me no more. You know, someone's gonna like, oh, you see this tweet? Yeah, that's wrong. All right. Why am I gonna let it bother me? It's Twitter. I know, like, dude, I'm confident enough in my ability to know who's wrong and who isn't. I'm not an expert by any means, not even close, not by any stretch of the imagination. But, you know, like, I'm smart enough to know who's full of crap and who isn't. You know. But hey, it is what it is. Let's go to the next news. This is some pretty good news for people that are fans of James Webb and astronomy here. Check this out. NASA awards launch services contract for Nancy Roman Space Telescope. Nice. NASA has awarded an NLS-2 contract to SpaceX to provide launch services for the Nancy Roman Space Telescope. The Roman Space Telescope is a top priority large space mission recommended by the 2010 Astronomy and Astrophysics Decadal Survey. Yeah, Caveman, yeah. Dude, look. I don't hate the guy. I don't hate him. It's just, yeah, not at all. I'm not gonna, and I'm certainly not gonna be like, no, you can't say that. That's stupid. You know, if I ever met that dude in real life, I wouldn't be a jerk. That's for sure. I mean, it's not personal. You know what I mean?
Discovery, go at
There you go, boy. 62-month resub. NLS-2 is an indefinite delivery, indefinite quantity contract. The total cost for NASA to launch the Roman telescope is approximately $255 million, which includes launch services and other mission-related costs. The telescope's mission is currently targeting to launch in October of 2026, as specified in the contract, on a Falcon Heavy rocket from Complex 39A at Kennedy Space Center in Florida. The telescope science program will include dedicated investigations to tackle outstanding questions in cosmology, including the effects of dark energy, dark matter, and exoplanet exploration. Roman also includes a substantial general investigator program to enable further studies of astrophysical phenomenon to advance other science goals. The telescope was previously known as the Wide Field Infrared Survey Telescope, WFIRST, but it was later renamed in honor of Dr. Nancy Grace Roman for her extraordinary work at NASA, which paved the way for large telescopes. This is a spy satellite, by the way. The Air Force actually gave it to NASA, and Jim gave it a name to help get it on the books. True story. NASA's Launch Services Program at Kennedy is responsible for the vehicle program management of the SpaceX Launch Service. The Roman Space Telescope project is managed by Goddard Space Flight Center in Greenbelt, Maryland. Yep. So, important thing, a Falcon Heavy launch costs $255 million. See that? $255 million. Yeah, I just want to highlight something here. The thing that I want to highlight is everybody thinks that Falcon Heavy is $100 million. Nope. Rocket launches don't usually have a fixed price like this. It's usually negotiated on a contractual basis depending on what the payload is, how complicated it is, and where the payload's going. 255 is still really, 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 really low. That's a really good price for a Falcon Heavy. Even like comparing it to like $400 million for like a Delta IV Heavy, which moves like less than half of Falcon Heavy's payload into space. It's a good price, but it's interesting to point out that not every launch is going to be, oh, it's Falcon Heavy. Oh, it's Falcon 9. Falcon 9, $62 million. Nope. Rocket launches are negotiated on a contractual basis. It's kind of a la carte, depending on what you're doing. Falcon Heavy is the only active and certified launch vehicle capable of carrying it, and the payload is going to Earth-Sun L2. It's going to be expendable to send it directly. It's also a 4,000 kilogram payload. Yeah, Delta IV can't do that. Yeah, Delta IV can't do that, I don't think. Yep. Departure, space offshore. What is that? A shortfall of Gravitas and Doug are departing Port Canaveral. The vessels are heading 630 kilometers downrange to the Starlink 425 landing zone. Very nice. Very nice. So it's going to keep James Webb company. Something like that. All right. Well, that's good news, nonetheless. And just as Doug is going out, Bob is coming in on NASA Fleet Cam with fairings from the last Starlink mission. Bab. It was baseline for Delta IV Heavy, but that was a few years ago, so the telescope might have gotten heavier. Ah, yes. Baselined for Delta IV Heavy. it was going for a 28-degree geo orbit, now with an L2 orbit. ULA pulled out, so SpaceX is the only one who can carry it. I miss Delta 4. Well, there's 3 of them left. Oh, good facts, guys. Thank you. Not sure about the USAF, but one of the early options for the NGRT was one of 2 repurposed NRO satellites, the same size as the Hubble Space Telescope, and so far, no concrete plan to use them. Krillani, I thought that Roman was one of those satellites, those Hubble-sized satellites. Roman's one of them. Is it not? Am I remembering incorrectly? Some sad news, Cup Series will not return to Road America next year. Hi, Bandit. I operate a racing series. I'm going to do exactly the opposite of what fans want. What, are they leaving it for the Chicago street circuit? W First has the mirror from the Spy Sats. Yeah, oh boy, the Chicago street circuit for NASCAR. Because, you know, that's going to... A lot of people are going to watch that. All right, hold on. Hang on. I haven't seen the circuit yet. Let me see. Let me see. They're not doing Road America because they want to drive that. They're not driving Road America because they want to drive that? Are they, Bandit? Are they trying to make NASCAR stupider? Are they trying to make it worse? Are they trying to make it suck? Like, are you Chicago? Who? Like, don't get me wrong. I'm not gonna sit here and say that there aren't NASCAR fans from Northern Illinois. I get it, but and you know what? I don't mean to generalize either. I'm fairly confident most NASCAR fans ain't from the city. I mean, myself notwithstanding, I'm not from Chicago, but I'm fairly confident that if I'm going to have a race, if I want a street circuit in the Midwest, I would choose Detroit, right? Because, you know, cars that you'd probably get better numbers, like if NASCAR raced Belle Isle or something. They cannot race Belle Isle. Those cars would not be able to go around that track. Yeah, I don't know. I think this is a bad choice for the sport. They're trying to reach out to a new demographic, but I'm not sure if this will have good racing anyways. Yeah, you know, Bandit, you know, that's what I don't like about these companies, these corporations, blah, 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 blah. They're always trying to reach out to a new demographic because they don't give a frick about the old one. Not entirely realizing that they could just keep doing what they're doing. You keep doing what you're doing if you just listen to your existing fan base. Like, I'm just saying, just putting it out there. Like, fellas, I think I can speak to this a little bit. And the reason why I can speak to this is because I haven't changed. I have not changed the format of the stream in years, and I won't. Well, maybe when we move, it might change a little bit because, you know, it might change a little bit because we're going to be wrenching on cars a little bit, but the format of the stream has not changed. If you look at a stream from 2016, 2015, it looks exactly the same, only with maybe like a better camera and better lighting, and my lighting still sucks. You know, I don't do that because I don't want to alienate my core user base. the people that have been here for 7, 8, 9 years. I'm not doing that. Those are the people that have been with me through thick and thin. I'm not going to do that. You know, if you're smart enough, there's a way that you can age gracefully, so to speak. You know what I mean? It's not just always about, oh, new demographic, new demographic, new demographic, new demographic. It's so stupid because you're going to go and pursue this new demographic and, you're going to get kids involved, and kids have the attention span of a walnut in exchange for the people that have been watching NASCAR for years. To be fair, he got rid of the glasses. Yeah, I got rid of the glasses 5 years ago, Canuck. And this appealing to new demographic stuff is just going to water down the sport. This happens all the time, you know? Yeah, it is what it is. They'll figure it out, or they won't. Not my problem. Next news, Firefly. Progress on Alpha Flight 3, our NASA VCLS-2 mission. So this is coming from Firefly Aerospace. Stage 2 is being lifted onto our test stand in Briggs, Texas. Hell yeah. In preparation for acceptance testing. This mission includes NASA's first demonstration of autonomous swarm technologies. Oh, hey, upper stage, how you doing? I think this is a better circuit. Yeah, that would be nice, but no. Speaking of watching for years, EJ, here's a statistic for you. What's that, Buck? In about 5 more months, I'll have been watching you for a decade. Actually, in August, I'll have been playing Kerbal for a decade. The fleet will first support the launch of Starlink 3.2 from Vandy. Oh, cool. Yeah, nice. Yeah. Hear me out, street circuit at KSC. That's an idea I can get behind. Yeah, I can do. Yeah, I can get behind that. Hear me out, street circuit at KSC. Grab Shark. What NASCAR and Formula One? They're trying to do a how do you do, fellow kids thing. And how do you do, fellow kids will boost your numbers so much until everybody figures out you're doing a how do you do, fellow kids, and then they'll just go back to TikToking or whatever kids do nowadays. Yeah, this is a how do you do, fellow kids. Yeah. Grab Shark, it would be like if NASA, had this crazy idea for a really, really robust lunar architecture and then started developing it and then got rid of it and said, no, somebody else can do it for cheap. Huh. Yeah, bad example. And they're still going to get crushed in 1845 by F1. Yeah, I don't get it, Hellfish. Bro, we're dying. What is this? Oh, man. Oh, look at this fun in here. Oh, the cold front's coming in. You'll be fine. Oh, man, it's blowing all that heat up from Africa. Oh, yo, that sucks. Wow. Dude, that is crazy. He's freaking, it's like screw Spain in particular. This area right there, just screw 'em. I have become liquid. Where are you guys up at? That's... Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Told you straight from the Sahara. Yeah, midget, I see it. Yeah, absolutely. Dude, it's just picking up all that heat and just spewing it this way. Damn, it hit 42°C in the UK today. 42°C. So, okay. Here's what you guys should do. All right, you take tea, you make tea, okay? Make your tea, you know, your tea or whatever the hell you do. All right, personally, I don't do this. I throw it in the harbor. So take your tea, okay? Put it in the fridge. After you brew it, put it in the fridge. Put some ice cubes in it. Put a lemon in it. Wait a couple hours. Take it. Drink it. Maybe put a little bit of sugar in there. Trust me. You're welcome. Trust me. We got it. Southern boys. We got to introduce these fools to. We got to introduce these fools to iced tea. You guys got to get some iced tea. You got to pour it over ice. You got to put some sugar in there. Trust me. You'll thank me later. No, lemon! Jesus, man! Put a little bit of lemon in there. Put a little bit. I mean, you guys would be the expert. I wouldn't know, man. I wouldn't know, man. You know where tea belongs up here? I throw it into bodies of water, not cups. We had a bad experience up here once, Dish, okay? We had a bad experience. What happened? We had a bad experience. Damn it, I'm deaf. Take that lemon and shove it up your Yankee butt. No, seriously. Try it. Try it, fellas. Iced tea is delicious. And I'm saying that as a Yankee. It's delicious. Damn. Trust me. Take the tea. Stop being like, Earl Grey, hot. No. Take it. Put it in the fridge. Put it in the fridge. Put some sugar in it. Okay, then pour it over ice. Trust me. Trust me. You will thank me later. It's delicious. Got to put the right amount of sugar in. See that thing I sent in Discord? I went to dinner. Yes, I did. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, it's a little warm. It's just a little warm. Whoa, look at that. Oh, that sucks. Scroll down for a world map. Yeah. Oh, whoa. Damn. That. Yeah, they ain't. Weather guy, they ain't used to that. That's. That. Yeah. End me. Holy crap. Yeah, no, the world is like, screw this place right here in particularly. Like, ugh. Look. Check that out. Look at the heat over there around Baikonur. Baikonur's toasty right now. Me today. You got no AC either? Do you think this is due to climate change? Yeah. I mean, Liam... Alright. I'll say what I always say about climate change, okay? So, fellas, alright. I'll be honest with you. I'm not too big of a fan of people all the time saying, it's gonna be a disaster, it's gonna be a disaster. But, here's the thing. It's important to understand that those people might not be wrong. That's a really important thing to understand, okay? The climate changes. It happens all the time. This happens. So we get a solar flare, the solar winds hit it, that'll screw with the climate. Sure, absolutely. It is an ever-evolving, super dynamic environment, meaning it's always changing. Now, if you look at the fossil record, right? I think it's a fossil record. I think that's what that's called. The planet is believe it or not, we're still coming out of an ice age. Coming out of an ice age that was about 20,000 years ago. It does cool, it does warm, it does cool, it does warm. That happens. However, like when you see the scientists, they're like, oh my God, we're screwed. When they say about that, we're accelerating already advancing climate change. The world is getting hotter. That's anybody that doesn't say that is an idiot. That's not it is. Oh, absolutely. It's absolutely getting hotter. When the scientists freak out and they say all this stuff, don't get me wrong. Like, I really wish they would just be cool about it, but this could potentially be totally screwed. We could tip the scale too far and the planet could change permanently and not just go through its cooling and warming cycles, right? That would be very, very bad. We could end up like Venus or Mars. That would be probably not a good thing. I'm pretty sure that's probably not good. So be cool about it. No, like, I don't like how people, you know, it's like Don't Look Up, you know, going and screaming and yelling about it isn't going to solve anything. Just go do. Just, like, there's ways that we can get around it. It's either that or, like, on the other hand, might be inevitable. I don't freaking know. I deal with the rockets, man. But I respect the people, you know, in the scientific community well enough to know that, like, dude, the planet's definitely getting warmer. Absolutely. Anybody that says that is blatantly wrong. It's just the rate at which we're exacerbating it. We're making, like, we are accelerating the change. That does happen. I mean, that we're accelerating an already natural change. The natural change happens. Planet cools and heats. We know that. Are we the ones that's doing it? Well, that's what everybody likes to argue about. I don't know. Probably. I mean, you don't add 7 billion people to the planet and hope that the climate's going to stay the same. That's just not a thing. I'm sorry. You can't add 7 billion humans to the planet and not think that, oh, I don't know, lakes are going to dry up because of overfarming. This stuff happens. Like, so, you know, I don't know. It feeds into a much larger question, and that much larger question is, you know, humanity is always going to be expanding, right? We're always going to be expanding. So, here, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? Eventually, even if we curb our efforts now, it's just going, if the planet keeps getting hotter, it's just going to be a problem later. You remember that episode of Futurama where they just launch garbage into space? And when that garbage comes back, they just find a way to launch more garbage into space? Well, instead of launching the garbage into space, maybe, why don't we just launch the people into space and live in space? And then, you know, like maybe manufacture stuff up there or something via mined asteroids. That will solve this problem pretty easily. And, you know, like we don't have to, you know, worry about kicking the can down the road. Yeah, Forge, that sucks. You know, maybe we should do that whole spaceflight thing. Why do you think I'm such a vocal advocate for it? Because even if we curb climate change now, the way the planet is heating and cooling, it would have naturally gotten to this level, but it would have naturally gotten to this level like in another 100 years. Still just kicking the can down the road. How about we go to space and actually solve this problem? You know, if we're manufacturing stuff up there and people live down here, well, you wouldn't have a coal plant in your backyard, would you? Maybe we get to a point where we manufacture stuff on the moon. You don't have to worry about carbon emissions on the moon. There's no atmosphere. See what I'm talking about? Like, you know, climate's definitely changing, Liam. It absolutely is. And it is changing at a pretty ridiculous rate comparatively to historical changes. We're definitely doing something. Absolutely. What's the impact? I don't know. I don't really want to be around to roll the dice like that. You know what I mean? Going to space is a way to immediately fix that problem. We could just build cities in space. Now, you know, have we tried just building cities in space? Well, no, I know that problem's a little more complicated than that. But at least building cities in space isn't some mystical fairy tale, you know, like there's some people out there that says like, oh, nobody should own a car, right? Or, oh, we should just use solar and wind all the time. That's ridiculous. We can't do that. There's not enough energy, man. I'm sorry. We got to find better ways to store that power. And even then, that means you're manufacturing batteries. Now you're manufacturing batteries. That's going to have climate change effects. Like, we can't sit here and pretend like there's just an end-all be-all solution to this problem. No. Space, and don't get me wrong, going into space and building cities in space and building cities on the moon and stuff to help curb climate change is not an end-all be-all solution either. But at least that's one that we've done. People can live in space. NASA's demonstrating that right now. And they've been demonstrating that for the last 20 years. It's definitely possible. What would be actually feasible moon-based industries? Nothing, Spraz. Just manufacture there, import the resources. We'd have to bring in the resources from the belt. Bring in the resources from a belt, establish supply chains out to the belt. Make sure the belt doesn't unify against you, and make sure you treat them ethically. I saw a movie or series about that once. I should probably do that. We could use helium-3. There's plenty of ways to do it, fellas. And these are all ways that we could do. Like, this is not like some happy mystical thing where, you know, we say like, oh, nobody should drive a car. Like, that's not gonna happen, right? Like, that's not gonna happen. Let's go to space. Let's fix those problems. We offload 1 billion people off of this planet, and we start figuring out ways to live in space. And more importantly, if we eventually figure out closed loop ways to live in space, then humanity could expand at rates that the likes of which we've never seen. You could double the population of the species and not have to worry about climate change, because more than half the population lives up at the moon or lives on Mars or something. This is totally doable. Like, don't get me wrong, that's a hard problem to solve, but I think that's frankly easier than trying to get everybody to switch to like wind and solar power. I think the launching into space thing is easier, you know? First, somebody has to come up with a modified fusion drive for propulsion. But the other thing is that we don't have to do both of those things at the same time. You know what I mean? But I'll be honest, Liam, at the end of the day, I know the planet's changing. It's definitely getting hotter. We're coming out of an ice age, and we're definitely changing that. What's the constant is the Industrial Revolution. If you look at carbon emissions, pre and post-industrial revolution, exacerbated with coming out of an ice age, yeah, definitely. We're heating up the planet. I think that, people really get vocal about this and people freak out about this because it's a dice roll. You don't know if, we could permanently screw something up. And there ain't many planets in our solar system that are like Earth. And by that I mean there are no planets like Earth in our solar system, so we should be careful. But one thing that I've found is that, if the poop's hitting the fan, never to go schizoid on people. That's not going to help. If you're adamant about climate change, you're not, and you go, in the grocery store and you go yell at the person with a big lifted truck, what does that solve? That person's just going to tell you to go frick yourself, and they ain't changing their mind. You know what I mean? Be the change you want to see. You know what I'm saying? Don't just tell everybody else that they should do, everybody else should have a lower carbon footprint. But I'm going to fly around in my private jet and just tell everybody that that you should have a lower carbon footprint. That's bull crap. I don't like people that do that. You know what I mean? You should lead by example. If you're going to lead by example, then maybe people will follow you. But if you go around just shaming everybody for their life choices because they're just trying to live their life, yeah, that's not going to work. That doesn't work. That's a bad way of doing things. That's going to eventually get more people pissed off at you. And it sucks because at the end of that day, that could potentially undermine the actual problem. You know what I'm saying? It's also weird how there's a lot of consumer-focused greenwashing when it's not consumables that are the problem. The numbers don't lie. Less than 100 countries on the planet are responsible for something crazy, like 70% of all emissions. Yeah. I mean, I don't know, Grav. I don't know, man. The planet's getting hotter, but I suppose, Liam, on the other hand, dude, it could get hotter and might be nothing. Could be nothing. The planet's just going to get hotter, and then we're going to peak, and then it's going to get colder. guys, it's not just us that can cause climate change. The Earth would be doing this automatically. Like, okay, think about where they found dinosaur bones. They found dinosaur bones in where? Like Montana, stuff like that. Now picture a dinosaur in your head. Picture a T-Rex walking around, right? What does the climate look like behind them? What, like, picture a velociraptor running around, like Jurassic Park. What does the climate look like? Think about it. Palm trees, volcanoes, tropical climates. They find dinosaur bones in Montana. Is that a tropical climate? No. The climate does change. It happens. That's important to understand. On one hand, we could be screwing things up and this planet could become like Venus. The reason why the surface temperature of Venus is 270 F is because it has too much greenhouse gases. And it holds all that heat in. The heat doesn't radiate out. And that pretty much killed any chance of life being on that planet. We might be headed towards that. That's possible. I'm not going to rule that out. I don't know enough about this to say whether or not we are or not. On the other hand, it could be no big deal. I think it's a stupid idea to roll the dice like that. I believe in being preemptive. You know what I mean? But what do I know? I'm just a stupid Twitch streamer. I like rockets. I have no idea. Enjoy the heat, I guess. The moving magnetic pole indicates that the mantle currents have changed. If that makes thermal energy transfer from the mantle to the plates even slightly more efficient, that could explain the whole warming trend. Yeah, Cerebral, that's right. The magnetic pole is shifting, and the magnetic pole shift can cause more climate change than ever. Dude, it's very possible, like, I'm not saying that it is, the data says the opposite of this, but it's very possible that the Earth, frankly, does not give a frick that we're here. It could just be getting warm by itself. But then again, we've never seen this kind of change in... We've never seen on the fossil record. They can use radiocarbon dating to see how warm it was, because they can look at like different plants, right? You can look at like different dead plants and fossils and stuff to see how warm it was at certain times in the Earth's past. That's checking the fossil record. That's absolutely a thing, and that's not like some maybe that's right. No, with radiocarbon dating, you can be pretty damn accurate because they trace half-lives and stuff, which is basic physics, nuclear physics. But I think that's how they do that. The Earth does get hotter and cooler. And believe it or not, the Earth during the times of the dinosaurs was way hotter than it is right now. Like I said, tropical climate in Montana. That absolutely is a thing. But it's never changed this fast before. Once again, it could just be the Earth. The Earth doesn't give a frick what frick about us on the planet. It doesn't care. But pretty sure it's just a big jello mold of rocks and lava and stuff. With like an iron core. I'm pretty sure it doesn't give a frick. Not that it's sentient at all. But, I mean, I was talking with Brimo about this once, fellas. We could... Imagine if we do all this. Like, we do all this wind solar stuff, right? And we do all this crazy stuff, and, we get the change back in line, and we prove that we did cause that, and then an asteroid hits and the planet heats up anyway. I don't know. I think the solution would be to try to get us off this planet. So, one, so we don't frick it up even more, and two, it's a good bet against that whole asteroid thing. It's an interesting question, and it's a very hot button topic. I ain't gonna sit here and tell you that the Earth isn't getting hotter, because also, I mean, it's getting hotter. Like oh yeah, no, you feel that right now? Yeah, it's pretty warm. You know what I'm saying? Just don't look up. Yeah. Going and whining about your problems on the news is the way to get that done. Yeah, okay. Midget's like, yes, I feel it. Thank you. I'm going to make my own environment with blackjack. And heaters. Also freezing. Can't hear you over my central air conditioner. Nice. We don't even know for sure that it's CO2. Like I said over Thunder, yeah, there's a lot of ifs. And the unknown is what's freaking people out. I understand that, yeah. But you look at an unknown that you encounter during spaceflight. Like, look at Apollo 13. Apollo 13 was an unknown. They definitely weren't expecting for the stupid thing to blow up on the way out to the moon. So, I'm not going to say we should be reactionary about this either. You should be preemptive to an extent, but also, you know, you don't know what's going to happen. You don't know. But we would have the tech and knowledge on how to affect the global atmosphere and could possibly handle the situation. Gatra, I'm not going to sit here and say that we, you know, an outcome could be us doing irreparable damage to the climate on this planet. I'm not saying that that's not an outcome. That absolutely could happen. But also at the same time, we're humans. We're smart. I think we can figure it out. Gotta have a shred of optimism, man. This world's full of pessimism. It's all over the place. I think we can figure it out, man. Yeah, sure. And I think that going to space is one of those ways. It's a potential avenue to solve this. Why do you think I'm so adamant about it? Well, I'm not adamant solely because of climate change. I like rockets because they're really cool and they spew out fire. And I like that. That's pretty rad. Alright, Sun Temple. See you, buddy. You guys, CO2 is good for plants on this planet. You understand that, right? Like CO2 is plant food. It's plant food. That's not necessarily a bad thing. It'll just make plants grow faster, and plants will produce more oxygen. This is like Earth Science 101. What is the matter you breathe? What is the matter in space? Yeah, I don't want to breathe what's up there. Music, that's for sure. Yeah, 2020, we'll adapt. We're humans. We can figure it out. I have faith. Gotta have a little bit of faith. You know what I mean? We are way past the amount plants need. We've been for like 10 years. Yeah, but plants don't get saturated, Euckerman. They make more plants. And if you're saying that you know we're way past the rate of like that plants can take in all of it because they grow more plants, yeah, then I guess you're right. You think that's air you're breathing now? Yeah, Celtic, that's what I'm saying. Everybody got so... There was so much hype behind it that you made more skeptics than you did anything. You know what I'm saying? It's dangerous. But hey, like I said, be the change you want to see. You're worried about it. It starts with you. You know, you gotta minimize carbon footprint if you want to do that. That's up to you guys. All I want is some high quality H2O. Yep. Heat wave. All right. Anyway, what else do we got here out and about? Stop eating. That's not amusement, man. It's something I'm not doing. I'm not gonna stop doing that. Oh. Oh yeah, this was linked up in here. Let's go back over here. Look at this. NASCAR Chicago will have a front stretch cabana suites and start finish line suites as well in July of 2023. "20 months, your alerts aren't working again. Also, yes, Celtic, I'm with you. I'm with you on that one. Thank you for the 20 months. I appreciate it. And Juicebot, thank you for the 42 in there too. Because when I think NASCAR, I think trackside cabana on a street circuit. That's when I think NASCAR. That's exactly what I think. Oh man, are they? Dude, are they? They are so screwed. What's that, silly Viking? Oh. I wonder what that is. Interesting. Anytime, bro. You're the first streamer that I sub to. Yep. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. Luxury boxes on the main straight in a NASCAR race. Oh, there's additional views from Davey Siegel, that Twitter account. Additional views of the paddock. Additional views of the Pit Road Paddock Club and Fountain Club. How out of touch? How out? Who made this decision? Who made this decision? This is a NASCAR race. It ain't Formula One. Oh, dear. Dale's rolling in his grave. Luxury boxes on the front stretch and the Fountain Club. VIP access at a NASCAR race. Oh, boy. Maybe the render is missing the discarded Coors and cigarettes. Okay. As a non-NASCAR fan, I'm going to guess they did this because they consider NASCAR's current core fan base uncouth. Yeah, something like that. Their short line, they're doing the whole we have untapped demographics thing. NASCAR is really trying to shed the whole good old boy thing, not realizing that that's alienating their user base, like their core user base. Just all right. All right. I think comets are probably a greater threat than asteroids because they have a very high apoapsis, a very low periapsis, and their orbital periods can be up to centuries long. If for one to impact Earth, we'd be screwed. Yeah, exactly. All the more reason why we should go in space. Yeah, look up Asteroid Day, Lunprod. It's an organization that's designed to tell people about this stuff. I don't think you know what that good old boy thing means. Oh, Eukerman. Well, if I don't know what it means, please let me know. Please, what does good old boy mean? Please, you tell me. You tell me. I'm waiting. Yeah, Jason, it would suck. Maybe we should, not put all our eggs in one basket. Alexa, play Simple Man by Leonard Skinner. Yeah! No, I'm pretty sure I was pretty damn spot on with it. Webster definition of good old boy. Usually a southerner who conforms to the values, culture, or behavior of his peers. Man, you guys make me just not want to stream sometimes. Wow. Plus, with space, we might be able to deflect asteroids. That's right, Trebu. Yep. Nah, Hibbit, I don't do that anymore. It was funny once or twice, but Hibbit, one time it was late, and I did that as a joke, and somebody's Alexa went off that was sleeping. And, ooh. Yeah. The guy freaked out. Sorry, just laying. Love the stream. Just don't want you to say that when you don't mean it. Yep. Okay. That just popped up. Okay. Yeah, okay, never mind. Sorry, no. I was looking at this. This just popped up on the feed arena. Yeah, you probably shouldn't have done that. Yeah, probably shouldn't have done that. Yeah, 2020. I would hope that people can, you know. The reason why it's a little bit frustrating, Euchre, I know you didn't mean anything by it, but I figure you would know me a little bit more to know that that's probably not the definition that I was referring to. It's a little frustrating when you know words can have more than one meaning. You know what I mean? And it's frustrating when everybody takes stuff so damn literally. That kind of stuff, Euchre, makes me not want to stream. It just makes me want to shut the stream off completely. Like I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it if everybody's going to take words literally. You got to understand that I'm speaking very informally to you guys. It's something that I do. Don't take advantage of that. I really don't like people that do that. And Euchre, I'm not saying I don't like you, right? I speak very general. I don't use big words. Sometimes there are words that have double meaning. In the context of what I was talking about, NASCAR is completely alienating their core user base, which just happens to be a lot of people from the South. Okay, that was the context of what I said it. But no, it's got to be about the Webster definition of the word, right? Which has implicit racial bias into it. That's great. That's good because that's what I'm talking about. I figure you'd give me the benefit of the doubt. But no, apparently not. Apparently I'm just I don't want you to say stuff you don't. I know what I said. Okay, I'm 34. I know what I said. I'm a big boy. Okay, I get it. I get it. That kind of stuff makes me not want to stream. When people take stuff out of context and hear what they want to hear, that's not scientific. That has nothing to do with engineering. And frankly, it's a little bit degrading towards me. Like I figure you give me the benefit of the doubt and know that I know better. But it's all right. It's okay. It's fine. Let's get to the next space news. Oh boy, here's some good news. NASCAR, nice. NASA delays Viper lunar rover launch by a year. Didn't see that one coming. Let me guess. COVID.
Discovery,
Watch.
throttle up.
Hey, Mayor. If that's 5 subs, thanks, buddy. I do appreciate it. NASCAR. Hey, the acronym's close, all right? NASA has delayed the launch of an ice prospecting lunar rover by a year to perform more testing of its commercial lander, the agency announced yesterday. And this article is coming from Jeff Faust over at Space News. The 1-year delay is to conduct additional ground testing of the Griffin lunar lander that Pittsburgh-based Astrobotic is building to deliver Viper on the lunar surface. NASA awarded Astrobotic a task order in June of 2020, originally valued at $199.5 million, to transport Viper as part of the agency's Commercial Lunar Payload Services program. Okay. NASA said that additional tests are intended to reduce the risk of landing Viper. Oh, sweet. An actual engineering reason. Excellent. To conduct the work, NASA is adding $67.8 million to the Astrobotic order that, with previous increases, brings the value of the award to $320.4 million. Viper is by far the largest and most expensive payload assigned to the Commercial Lunar Payload Services mission to date, with an official cost estimate of $433.5 million. That is clashed with NASA's shots on goal approach to CLIPS, where the agency has emphasized a higher tolerance of risk and mission failures to keep costs down. Yeah, here we go. Viper is NASA's largest and most sophisticated science payload to be delivered to the moon through CLIPS, and we've implemented the enhanced lander testing for this particular CLIPS surface delivery. An audit of the Viper mission by NASA's Office of Investigator General, published in April, noted that NASA instituted augmented oversight of the CLIPS task order to Astrobotic, given the higher cost and importance of Viper compared to other CLIPS missions. That oversight includes meeting 3 times a week among NASA and Astrobotic personnel to discuss issues with both Viper and the Griffin lander. Be happy. CME tonight and tomorrow. Yep. That audit has also noted that NASA's decision to select a lander before finalizing the design of Viper led to costing. Can we go back to talking about what we were talking about before, please? Can we go back to that, man? Oh my goodness. Viper did not complete its critical design review until October 2021, more than a year after the CLIPS award. And the audit found several issues, such as an increase in mass of the rover and concerns about excess vibration. That led to changes in the Astrobotic CLPS task order that increased its value. Yuck. Additional modifications remain a possibility, as the rover and Griffin lander have yet to complete their design and finalize their requirements. The audit stated also, because Commercial Lunar Payload Services is a new acquisition model for NASA, additional revisions may become necessary as the project matures and lessons are learned. If I got smoke coming out of my ears, we'll just blame global warming. Okay, man, that's a good idea. But wouldn't finalizing the lander first actually put in place the engineering constraints for Viper, thus making it cheaper in the long run? Yeah. Yeah. It's almost like you can't design a rover for a lander that you don't know. Can't design. They have to be designed in parallel. You design one before the other, you're gonna run into problems. That's systems engineering 101. What are you trying to do? We're trying to deliver a payload to the moon that lands on the moon and deploys a rover that prospects for ice. Everything that's required there to get from the surface of Earth to the surface of the moon and looking for ice should be either already developed or designed in parallel. Now, in this particular case, it's Commercial Lunar Payload Services, so it'll probably launch on a commercial partner. There are plenty of rockets that could shoot Viper and the Griffin lander out to the moon. So that part's figured out. You don't have to worry about that. It would be nice to design around a vehicle, but it is what it is. So that leaves the lander and the rover. The lander and the rover need to be designed in parallel. You can't design one or the other. They need to be designed in parallel, and they need to work with each other. If you design one and then keep going and then start building one, you're going to find problems with the other, and then you're going to figure out that they don't commingle very well, and you're going to have to go and redesign other things. So everything ends up, so they have to be developed in parallel. They have to. And anybody that skirted that issue right out of the box, it would be lying to you. You'd have to design them both at the same time. They would have to be designed in parallel, and both of those teams would have to work very closely with each other and finalize a model before you even start making anything. But wouldn't finalizing the lander first actually put in place the engineering constraints for Viper, thus making it cheaper in the long run? Okay. You finalize the lander first. All right? You finalize the lander. The lander can move 1,000 kilograms to the surface of the moon. And then you go and design the rover. And you figure out that the rover needs to be 1,500 kilograms to do the actual goal of the mission correctly. Now you have to go back and redesign your finalized lander. No, design it in parallel. Trust me on this one. If you don't design them in parallel, you're going to run into more problems. And the more things that you change down the road from your originally stated mission goal, the more expensive this mission is going to end up. Simple as that. Guys, this isn't even NASA systems engineering. That's systems engineering 101. You have to design them around the goal. In fact, nuclear, I would have designed the rover. Actually, I wouldn't have even designed the rover. The first thing that I would have done is figure out how much Falcon Heavy can push on a translunar injection and go from there. Yeah, about 14 sheep. It's systems engineering, right? But also engineering. Sheep. What I try to tell people on here all the time is that there is every type of engineering, any type of implemented engineering, electrical, mechanical, aerospace, software, every type of engineering always goes back to one question. What are you doing? What are you trying to do? What are you trying to do? From the beginning, from the time you decide you're going to start an engineering project, all the way to the end, what are you trying to do should be the first question answered, and that answer should stay the same throughout entire implementation. If that question changes at any time during the cycle of, designing, developing, building, implementing, whatever you made, if that question changes, then you're gonna get scope creep. Or changing stakeholder expectations. If you change stakeholder expectations, guess what? Price goes up. The further along the timeline you do that, price goes up even more. It goes up exponentially the further you are into that mission. Now, Commercial Lunar Payload Services was announced when? 2018? We're already well into the design phase for CLPS. CLPS is gonna get expensive. And remember, one of the goals for Commercial Lunar Payload Services, Jeff Faust said it in this article. They said it that Commercial Lunar Payload Services is designed to be Viper is by far the largest and most expensive payload to fly on CLPS with an official cost estimate of $433.5 million. That is classed with NASA's shots on goal approach to CLPS, where the agency has emphasized a higher tolerance of risk and mission failures. So now you're going against the actual CLPS. You're going against the Commercial Lunar Payload Services stakeholder expectation from NASA. This is going to get expensive very quick, to the tune of an extra $100 million a year. Quick. Oh yeah, and they already delayed it another year. See what I mean? It's very easy for this stuff to balloon out of control. James Webb is a great example. How many times did the stakeholder expectations for James Webb change? And now, don't get me wrong, James Webb's pictures are amazing. I'm really happy we saw that project through. That's great. But we saw that project through to the tune of $10 billion over 20 years. James Webb was supposed to launch when I was in high school. I was in high school 15 years ago. They kept changing the stakeholder expectations, and the cost ballooned exponentially on the satellite. So the audit did its job properly, and this is similar to the design of Saturn V, where a stage needed to keep being changed. That's designing in parallel, nuclear. It's designing in parallel. You should do that. Yeah, Sprazia, there you go. I'm gonna record this for my project manager. SLS is up billions. Well, SLS has no stakeholder expectation. The stakeholder expectation is build the frigging rocket. Yeah, Sheep, I have my reservations about that program. Don't get me wrong, I'm an SLS fan. Sure, absolutely. It's basically Ares 5. It just needs a better upper stage. But that upper stage should have been designed in parallel. Ha ha! Am I right? Hey! Whoosh! Looks at shirt. I'm a fan, dude. I hate this variant, though. This variant sucks. What are you going to do with that? You can go on a sightseeing trip around the moon. That's about it. Need a better upper stage. We need a better upper stage. We need the universal stage adapter. We need block 1B. We need all that. They should just have skipped the ICPS. Shortline, anybody that was worth their weight in knowledge about like space flight, worth their weight in knowledge about space flight, that doesn't really make sense. Anybody that was smart enough to know anything about systems engineering would know that when SLS came on the books, the idea of proposing an interim cryogenic stage to save cost, anybody that knew anything about systems engineering knew that was bullcrap. Yeah, there's no freaking way. You're not gonna bring a whole stage online just to use it once. That makes no sense. And the idea at the time was, oh, it's just going to use a Delta 4 upper stage. Nope, the ICPS is completely different. It's an extended DCSS. You might as well have redesigned the stage at this point. Yeah, oh yeah, no, it's great. But yeah, this is... Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not sitting here and saying we shouldn't go through with Viper. Viper's an awesome payload, and it's quintessential to the Artemis program. It's a lunar prospecting rover that's designed to find ice. If it finds water ice on the surface of the moon, well, you got your landing site for Artemis 3, don't you? Here, let's keep going. The audit noted that NASA's decision to select a lander before finalizing the design of Viper led to cost increases. About 4 sheep, welcome to Mission Control. You go at throttle up. Viper did not complete its critical design review until October 21, more than a year after the CLIPS award. That's not bad. That happens. CDR takes time. In fact, the longer that the CDR takes, the better. Because that means your design is more fleshed out, so you don't run into problems later. And the audit found several issues, such as an increase in mass of the rover and concerns about excess vibration that led to changes in Astrobotic's CLPS task order that increased its value. Oh, look, nuclear, exactly what I said happened. Yeah, see what I mean? I may have already read this, and that's probably why I knew, but yeah, there you go, dude. They said build it, and this thing can move. These are made up numbers. The lander is great. It can move 1,000 kilograms to the surface of the moon, and they came back and said, well, the Viper rover needs to be 1,500 kilograms to do the objectives of the mission. Now you got a big problem. That's no good. My, what a mess. Additional modifications remain a possibility as the rover and Griffin lander have yet to complete their designs and finalize their requirements. Also, because CLIPS is a new acquisition model for NASA, additional revisions may become necessary as the project matures and lessons are learned. Yeah, that's true with any project, guys. Another risk is that Astrobotic has yet to launch its first lunar lander mission, Peregrine. The company unveiled their lander, still in final assembly, in April and plans to launch it late this year on the inaugural flight of ULA's Vulcan Centaur. While Griffin is a different, larger lander, the audit noted that the lander shares subsystem and any of the problems found with Peregrine's mission could affect the development of Griffin. Oh, boy. This is not the first delay for Viper. When the agency announced the rover mission in 2019, it was projecting a launch in late 2022 with a cost of $250 million. By the time the agency awarded the CLPS task order for Viper to Astrobotic, the agency had delayed its launch to 2023 to enhance the rover and allow it to operate for 100 days versus the original planned 14. Stakeholder expectations changing right there. Dude, stakeholder expectations already changing. Not good. After contracts are awarded. Bad. Stop it, NASA. Stop this. What are you doing? What are you doing? Ugh. Yeah, Shoreline, I don't think it's going to go that high, but Shoreline, I can't, dude. I can't help but, like, I don't want to sit here and be a Karen the entire time and be like, oh, I told you. Oh, I told you so. I told you that was going to happen. Guys, commercial development isn't always the solution. There's a reason why cost-plus contracts exist in the government. Firm fixed price contracts are good when you're buying a service, but development like this takes time. It takes time and it gets expensive. It doesn't matter if it's commercial. It doesn't matter if it's NASA in-house. This stuff is going to take time to develop. And trying to pawn everything off to commercial, every single thing. And CLIPS was a Jim idea. CLIPS was one of Jim's ideas. I like Jim. I really won't talk bad about him too much because he was a damn good NASA administrator. But the idea that, oh, commercial can do it for cheaper. Oh, commercial can do it for cheaper. Oh, commercial can do it for cheaper. No. It's always expensive. It doesn't matter what it is. It's expensive to develop it. It doesn't matter who does it. It's expensive. Building a rocket that goes to the moon is an expensive endeavor, even for commercial. It's an expensive thing to do. Doesn't matter who does it. Now, how much the price comes down is really a matter of how often you fly. That's why I like this. That's why I like that thing. That thing's supposed to fly a lot. That's the right idea. But at the end of the day, no matter if it's reusable, expendable, high flight rate is what's going to favor lower cost. But the development is always going to cost money. Starship is supposed to, down the road, maybe in 10 years, in 2032, Starship is launching to the tune of $2 billion or $2 million a launch, not $2 billion, right? But that's after $5 to $7 billion have been invested into its development. How's that any different than SLS? What's the difference here? The difference is flight rate. Okay, but that development, my point is that development, commercial, government, it doesn't matter. It's always going to be expensive to get over that hump. You have to get over that hump somehow. And we're sitting here changing stakeholder expectations on this supposedly low-cost commercial mission that's already gone up to over $300 million. Well, okay, Shirkan, here's the thing. Stakeholders are different than shareholders. Stakeholder expectations are a term that comes from systems engineering. Stakeholder expectations goes back to what I was saying. Stakeholder expectations, and this is the root of every single engineering design. What are you doing? What are you trying to do? What are you trying to do? Not why, not how. What are you trying to do? When that question changes halfway through a project, then it gets expensive. Now, keep in mind, that's different than a shareholder. A shareholder is different. There are publicly traded spaceflight companies that aren't doing so well right now, but that's different. A stakeholder expectation is, NASA can have stakeholder expectations on a non-commercial program. Like Apollo, for instance. Apollo is a good example. What's the question with Apollo? What are you trying to do? The stakeholder expectations for Apollo were clearly defined right from the start. What's the question? But either way, sure, I do agree with you in that regard. If we're talking about shareholders, yeah, frickin', beholden to shareholders it sucks. EA is like a good example of that. But we're not going to open that can of worms today, are we? Hey, Neveling, what's going on, buddy? Good to see you again. So, I'm actually asking you guys, think about it. It's not a trick question. What was the purpose of Apollo? So, we're going to start a space program, the Apollo program. What are you trying to do? Answer me that question right now. Ugerman, yeah, to an extent. They didn't say it straight up, but yes. Beat the Soviets to the moon. I believe this nation should commit itself, before this decade is out, of sending a man to the surface of the moon and returning him safely to the earth. There you go. Because that challenge serves to organize and measure the best of our skills to show that we're better than the Soviets. Beat the Russians there. Bingo. There you go. Done. That's your stakeholder expectation. Now tell me what it is for the shuttle. What's the shuttle stakeholder expectation? It flew for 30 years. It's got to have one. A lot of question marks. The shuttle's stakeholder expectation was to lower the cost of access to space through a reusable vehicle. Did it do that? Did that question change throughout the shuttle's program? Yep. See what I mean about changing the question? Not a good idea. Nope, it didn't do that, and yep, it did. Bingo. Bingo. See what I'm talking about? See the difference? That's the difference. What are you trying to do? That's a question you should think long and hard about. Long and hard. Yeah. Fire! Fire! So 100,000 people on Mars is a good goal. That's Elon's goal, BT Phil, but yeah. To get spy sats to orbit, but also camp in Leo, but also ferry to the ISS and build the ISS. With one vehicle. It's a lot of requirements, Bill. But it's not as clearly defined as the Apollo program, is it? What about the Gemini program? What was the Gemini program's goal? What are you trying to do? What are you trying to do? Gemini program, go. One sentence. You're director of NASA if I ever get elected as president. All right. Learn about space flight because you're there, Eukerman. You're there. You got it. Phil got it. We need to learn about how to do things in space to prepare us for the Apollo program. Straightforward stuff. Clearly defined goal. Clearly executed. Done perfectly and on time. See what I'm talking about? Earth orbit rendezvous. That was one of the goals, Dingleberg, because Earth orbit rendezvous was needed if you decided to do an EOR Apollo program, so they figured you probably should learn how to do that. Right? And they did it by hand. Gemini has no digital flight computer. To my knowledge, last time I checked, I could be wrong. I don't know. Now I'm second guessing myself. They did it by hand. They did it by using a grease pen and a sextant writing on the damn window. And not slide rule. Well, they probably had a slide rule up there, Kev, but a naval sextant. They use the stars to navigate. Stars don't change just because you're 200 miles that way. Do you know if anything about a plan for NASA to give SLS a good name? Yeah, they better get rid of Mega Moon Rocket. That's... I don't know. Personally, I think SLS should be called Delta 5, but that's just me. Or Jupiter 4 has been thrown around a lot. Jupiter 4 is a good name, too. Gemini has no digital flight computer. Can you believe that? You're flying into space on a vehicle that's about as technologically advanced as a car is nowadays. Actually, not even close. A car from the 80s. How about that? Crazy, right? So, you see the difference here? You see the difference in clearly defined goals? That's really, really important. That is Systems Engineering 101. What are you doing? What are you trying to accomplish? That can be any engineering problem, to a pipeline being made, to an oil rig being engineered, or a train line, or a crane, or a spacecraft. Any type of engineering. What are you doing? I can give you another example. Let's think about. Let me think. Give me a second. Let me think of a good one. A good one with very clearly defined goals. The Hoover Dam. That's pretty straightforward stuff. What was the Hoover Dam trying to do? I know the Transformer popped today. That's why it's in my head. Hoover Dam. What was the purpose of the Hoover Dam? To provide power to the NCR. You know what, Pigzig? There's a kappa next to that, but I'm not going to say you're wrong either. Caesar's Legion. Bunch of savages. Hoover Dam was a jobs program? How about providing water and electricity to freaking Las Vegas? No? To evict India? Jeez! Jesus, you guys are messed up. Wow! When I said savages, I was talking about Fallout New Vegas. I wasn't talking about real life. Jeez. We're talking about the engineering, not the social implications of engineering. You want to discuss the social aspects of the Apollo program, we can. But remember, we're talking about the engineering. You're not wrong, but also... The Hoover Dam was built so it could be a stop for my truck. That's right. Yeah. And, you know, Squall, you're talking about the F-14. How about Navy Fighter Weapons School? The Navy Fighter Weapons School was established in 1969 because this is systems engineering too. It's just systems engineering for training. What does the Navy Fighter Weapons School do? Life is harsh in the waste. Patrolling the Mojave almost makes me want to wish for a nuclear winter. Due to climate change, it will not be able to fulfill its original purposes. Dead Scum, we're not talking about the implications now. We're talking about why it was made. They succeeded. The Navy Fighter Weapons School was made because of a need. So what are you trying to do? We're trying to make sure our pilots don't get shot down by a bunch of farmers flying MiGs around. There you go. They succeeded. The Navy Fighter Weapons School, for the uninitiated, is better known as Boom! Top Gun. Go see Maverick. It's an amazing movie. The plot sucks. The plot's terrible. But who cares? Who cares? You get to see people flying around in F-18s all day. It's freaking sweet. Who cares about the plot? Doesn't matter. I mean, Celtic, I'll be honest with you. Designing a plane without a machine gun was probably not a good idea. Top Gun's plot's terrible, always has been. I don't care. That's just because of the critics' juice, but I love Top Gun, the first one and the second one. It's a great movie. They're both great movies. I didn't mind the plot. Your plot's terrible, maybe. But at least I didn't sleep with Lumberg. Yeah, nuclear. Yeah, exactly. Actually, I did like the plot of Maverick, to be 100% honest. I did like the plot of Maverick. I did. I thought it was good. I thought it was a good plot, considering. The F-4, Celtic. The F-4 is what I'm talking about. The F-4 Phantom, when they designed it, thought that pilots could be totally relying on missiles and dogfighting was the thing of the past. And then they got shot down by a 15-year-old last-generation fighter with machine guns because they had none. Oops. Why do they not know about this stuff? Because they were inverted. So you're the one, chat, huh? Yes, ma'am. Anyway, we got a couple more things, and then we also got the Starship update here. Always good. That I will show you here momentarily. This is coming from Jason Rainbow over at Space News. Let's see. ESA funds SkimSat demonstrator study for VLEO, Very Low Earth Orbit. The European Space Agency has awarded funds to develop a demonstrator for SkimSat, a small satellite platform designed to operate in very low Earth orbit. Europe's Thales Alenia Space said on July 19th that it secured 2.3 million euros, $2.4 million, in ESA funding to advance its design of a satellite capable of operating in orbit below 300 kilometers. 300 kilometers is 180 miles. That's pretty damn low. Yeah, it's pretty low. That's like parking orbit low. The funding includes well beyond the threshold of a decaying or well into the threshold of a decaying orbit for what it's worth. The funding includes an 800,000 euro study contract for a demonstrator that would use electrical propulsion to compensate for air drag at these low altitudes, which promise sharper resolutions for Earth observation. Should we tell him? There's like satellites that already do that, right? There's like 1,000 of them up in space right now. There's satellites satellites that already do that. Celtic, the F4 can go fast. Don't say it can't go fast. It can go fast. It's fast by modern fighter standards. It can go just as fast as an F-22. But that's about all it can do. It's top fuel dragsters on a Formula 1 track. Yes, but charge a consulting fee first. Yeah. Starlinks do this already. Starlinks are technically skim sats. They're not in very low Earth orbit. They're just in low Earth orbit, but they do skim like that. That's why they're flat. True story. I've been very fast at an F4. I mean, the F4 can go over 1,500 miles an hour. That's well past Mach 2. It's very fast for what it is. But that's about all it's good at doing. But also, it's an F4, and who cares? It is... The F4 might suck at doing a lot of things, but it doesn't suck at going fast, and it is literally one of the coolest looking planes ever devised. That is one of the coolest looking planes. I'm sorry. You could say it. You could say that it sucks at dogfighting. Yes, it doesn't have a machine gun. Yes, that sucks. But also, it is one of the coolest looking fighter planes ever devised. That is an awesome looking plane. What a unit of a plane. Okay, fair. Going fast. It's not a defense against modern rockets. Oh yeah, no, they figured that one out, Kelty. Yeah, no, you're not wrong. And also, I do think it looks cool. Dude, that is a cool looking plane. All right, it is just a cool looking plane. Look at that plane. That plane looks sweet. I mean, look, come on. It's a cool looking plane. Look, chat. Shark teeth. What a beast mode of a plane. Okay, all right. Racer, don't say anything. So, why does this have the rising sun on it if it's an American plane? A U.S. Navy plane. Why does it have the Japanese flag on the wing? On the V-stab? Who knows? Let's see who knows. It wasn't stationed in Japan technically, Ren. Technically, it was stationed on... The name's right on the plane. It's not JDF. It has a USAF round, or it has a US roundel on it with Navy. This was stationed on the Coral Sea. Coral Sea was a forward deployed aircraft carrier, part of the Navy's 7th Fleet. The 7th Fleet home port is Yokosuka, Japan. That's why it has the Japanese flag on it. True story. Pretty cool, huh? We still have a forward deployed carrier over there. 7th Fleet, baby. Because it would crash on Hawaii. No, that's different. It's different. Shh. Quiet. Shh. You know that the Greeks still use that thing? Seriously, the Hellenic Air Force still uses F4s to this day. I counter with the SR-71. Goes fast and looks cooler. Its main way to avoid things is to go fast. That, believe it or not, 2020, that was the idea with this plane. You know, air combat is only going to be missiles. It's only, you know, that was their thought at the time. It's only going to be missiles. No one's going to dogfight anymore. You're just going to shoot them down with a missile before they ever get near you. And that worked until your missiles malfunctioned and now you have 3 MiGs behind you. Oh, there you go, Phil. Sweet. They're cool. F4s are cool, man. It's a cool plane. I don't care what anybody says. It sucks at doing a lot of things, but it doesn't suck at going fast. And I don't know if you guys have watched this stream before. I like things that go fast. And that goes fast. Don't the Iranians have some? I believe so, yeah. I mean, I don't know how they're going to get parts for it, but they have F-14s, believe it or not. Well, you like MiGs? That's fine, Strunken. MiGs are deciding to do the same thing. That's what not a lot of people know that. MiGs are designed to do the same thing. Believe it or not, MiGs, most of the Mikoyan Design Bureau was Mikoyan Gurevich Design Bureau was building interceptors to shoot down U.S. bombers. That's what they were designed to do. You ever notice that a MiG-21 is literally a dart with some wings on the side? It's because it's designed to get up off the ground fast, shoot at bombers, and get away. It's not only till you got up to like the MiG-25, you know, and then into the 29 that they really started making like air superiority fighters. True story. They're adding F4s to DCS. Yeah, Nutbuster, it's one of my favorite planes. Almost like the design question is, what are you doing? I'm telling you, it's just good engineering, dude. But anyway, Europe's putting out a satellite that'll skim low Earth orbit. It'll basically glide on the atmosphere with the electric propulsion. That's pretty cool. Now, what are they trying to do? They promise sharper resolutions for Earth orbit applications. There's your stakeholder expectation right there. There you go. Personally, your favorite is the P-51, old school, but BA. Nutbuster, I have favorite planes from different eras. You can't ask me to choose. I'm too much of a plane geek to be able to say anything. The F4, I should be more clear about this. The F4 is my favorite Cold War era plane. Like fighter plane. It's my favorite one. There are others. A-10, obviously. F-14, definitely up there. But see, F-14s are that's the next generation of fighters. You know, you're comparing TOS to TNG here. Can't do that. I mean, some people try to, and then they just end up yelling at each other. So I always pick planes from certain eras. I have a favorite plane from World War II, a favorite plane from the Korean War era, a favorite plane from the Cold War era. Korean War is technically Cold War. You know, modern fighters, etc., etc. You see what I'm saying? The A-10's amazing because GAU-8 Gatling gun, the Avenger cannon. Like, I know that's, wow, geez, that's really, really groundbreaking opinion there, EJ. I'm sorry, it's a gun. It's a flying titanium bathtub with a gun attached to it and some wings. I think that's funny as hell to me. My favorite plane from World War I is the F-35. Chat, you see that? That's bait. Let's be honest, nothing will ever surpass the F-14 godlike levels. I'd say of that era of fighters, like 4th gen fighters, Squall, man, you're making me choose between an F-14 and an F-15 and a MiG-29. Like, or an Su-27. Like, God, I don't know. Oh, those are all really nice planes. Have you seen Rex Hanger's YouTube videos? No, Jim, I haven't. The B-58 is beautiful and awesome, but pretty useless. Yeah, you got the awesome part. Yeah. A-10 is my favorite modern plane because my dad's best friend is an A-10 pilot. That's cool, Nutbuster. There you go. I don't know, Squall. You know what? I'll probably go with the F-14, and F-15 people are like, well, you'd probably be wrong. I like Navy stuff. I think the Navy has the best toys. I'm sorry, but the F-15 is... The F-15 is Pepe hands. Yep. B2. Give me the B2 any day. Well, you know, I tend to compartmentalize it by bomber, too, Hibbit. You know, you don't compare B2 to an F-15. Those are two different planes designed with two different stakeholder expectations. It works for these two. Of all the ones from my time, the UH-1, yeah. Yeah, of course. Racer, you know, because what's better than blasting the doors, an M60 out the door? Get some! Get some! SR-71. If you're a plane geek, you like the SR-71. Even if you don't, you are obligated to. I'm sorry. It's just... That's like a conversation that I have with Brimo. Brimo's like, I'm like, you're from Detroit. And she's like, yeah. And I'm like, you like cars? She's like, no, no, I don't. I'm like, no, you're from Detroit. You have to like cars. All right, you have to like cars. Like, I'm sorry. You like cars even if you don't think you do. You like cars, all right? It's just one of those things. If you're a plane geek, you like the SR-71. I'm sorry. It's just... And if you don't like the SR-71, if we're going to play off that you don't like it for a change, you like the U2. It's one or the other. You have to like one of them. I saw one in DC, I nearly cried. Well, Nutbuster, the one in DC has the space shuttle behind it. The only thing ever to go faster. Space shuttle's the fastest plane around, baby. That's why I like it. That's why it's up here on the mantle. I don't care if the space shuttle uses SRBs to get into space. It's the fastest thing it's the fastest things that humans have ever flown. The one exception would be the Apollo capsule. The Apollo capsule went faster. I will make my own stakeholder expectation with Blackjack. Yep. I don't like the SR-71. I only like Miss Vaughn. No, you don't. Guy, you have the unpopular opinion that the P-51 should have never gone to Korea. Wrong plane for the role it was given. The P-47 was a much better close air support platform. P-47 is in my top 5 World War II planes. Now, that's the next question. What's your top 5 World War II planes? Well, in no particular order, I would say the P-38. P-38's up there. P-47. De Havilland Mosquito. If you know, you know. The B-29 is definitely there. But it's a bomber, but it's all right. And then... So we got P-47, P-38, de Havilland Mosquito. The 262, yeah, that's a good plane. Corsair? If we're gonna go with a Navy plane, Grayson, I like the F6, the Hellcat. That's a better plane than the F4. It's 2020. You can't mention, if you're going to say P-51, you might as well say Spitfire. But see, here's the thing. The de Havilland Mosquito is faster than both of those planes. And it's frankly a better dogfighter than both of those planes. You could say I'm wrong, but you'd be wrong. Because, you know, the P-51 has 1 Merlin engine. Spitfire, 1 Merlin engine. The de Havilland has 2. And it's made of wood. It's lighter than both of those planes. Well, maybe not exactly lighter. But the Mosquito's amazing. Stealth plane. It's made out of wood. Wood doesn't bounce radar. Seriously, the Mosquito had the radar signature of a bird. Yeah, pretty awesome plane. The Mosquito's super underrated, dude. It's a really, really awesome plane. And then I don't know. I mean, there's like the ME-163 and the Messerschmitt 262. Those are cool planes. But I'm going to buck that trend and say ME-310. I'm going to buck that trend. Because what other World War II plane could carry a tank around inside of it? Yeah. Yeah, true story. ME-310, look it up. I caught the first F-117 reveal in Burbank. It literally stopped traffic. People were out of their cars watching this thing fly around. Oh, I'd believe that. What about the Horton 229? Only 4 of them were ever made, Architect. It didn't really see widespread use. It was a concept. Yeah. Yeah, ME-310 is up there. What was that duck-looking German plane? The duck-looking one? Maybe it's not an ME-310. What the hell's the name of that plane? The 310 was a good plane. Is it a 410? The 410 was a good plane. What the heck's the name of that thing? It's the big plane that can carry a tank around. It's not a 310 or a 410. The 410 was a good plane, though, if I'm remembering correctly. Why am I blanking on this? Is it a 399? It's the one that could carry a tank. Way ahead of its time. It started out as a glider. Why am I blanking on its name? $323? Now I gotta Google it. That's the one. There she is. Yeah, ridiculous. It can carry a tank around. The Gigant. Yeah, that's it, Fishy. Thank you. Yeah, ridiculous. Started out as a glider, and then the Germans were like, wait, what if we just put engines on it? Yeah, do it. Put engines on it. The 323. Thanks, guys. That's a cool plane. And then, I don't know. That's number 4. What would be the 5th one? I don't know. There's a lot of different planes. But the HS-129 is literally a duck. Probably a Lag 3. Yeah, Lag 3, I'd say. Yeah, good plane. Or the Sturmovik. The Sturmovik's a great plane. That saw a lot of action. Either way, yeah. Planes. All right, anyway, we got some Starship news here. Let's see. Okay, here's the footage from yesterday. This footage is coming from Mary and the NSF robots over at NASA Spaceflight. The Arado 234. Yeah, that was a good plane, Gil. Really, really ahead of its time. ME-163 was cool, though. They removed the chopstick actuator. F4U. I mean, Gullwings, of course. Beechcraft Starship. An update on the tank farm from Zach. What's Zach saying? Hey, Starship Dad, it's been a while since I've done this, but here's a short thread explaining what's about to happen at the Starbase Orbital Tank Farm. Oh, we'll read that thread in a little bit. Blom and Voss. Yeah, Fishy, I know about that. The Germans made some absolutely crazy stuff during the war. Like, just... Okay. What the hell are you thinking about? Reagan, Apollo 10 was the fastest that humans have ever gone. About a little bit under, well, somebody already said it. It's about 25,000 miles an hour coming back from the moon. The reason why Apollo 10 went faster than all the other Apollos is because its parasynthion was higher than every other Apollo mission. Its lunar periapsis was higher because it didn't land. Yeah, we did some nutty stuff, but the U.S. really started doing nutty stuff with airplanes in the late 40s, into the 50s, into the 60s. That was our let's do stupid things with planes and figure it out later kind of era. Yep, John Young was on Apollo 10 Dragonheart. Don't worry, he went to the moon on Apollo 16. So did Gene Cernan on Apollo 17. Still doing work on the sticks there. Yeah, look at all the insulation. It got a little burned from the Booster 7 pop. John Young, one of only, I think it's 3 dudes that have been outside of low Earth orbit twice. Cernan and Lovell are the other ones. I think that's it. I think everybody else went to the moon once and then was like, nah, never mind. That's right, Nutbuster. Yeah, you're talking to a totally av-geek here. We probably all know the same stuff, man, but you're right, absolutely. I like my spacecraft a little bit more than planes, but planes are right up there. Oh, yeah. The top flashing is super fun to compare it against the pre-explosion footage. That's right, Skogs. What are those? As the kids say on the internet, what are those? Did they actually have any tape of the Apollo 13 capsule on the inside? Yeah, of course. John Young wasn't in the Mercury program, Nikita. John Young was in the second round of astronauts. He flew 2 Gemini missions. One Gemini mission with Gus Grissom. The second Gemini mission with Michael Collins, the lunar module or the command module pilot on Apollo 11. Then John Young's first Apollo mission was Apollo 10, where they went out to the moon and tested the lunar lander and did everything with the lunar lander but landed. Apollo 10 could have landed on the moon if the lunar lander had the fuel. They didn't fuel up the lunar lander with all the fuel. So the lunar lander during Apollo 10 separated, showed it could station keep with the command module, went down a little ways, then went back up, redocked, and then they got back into CSM and went home. Is there anyone that went to the dark side of the moon? I'm sure it's around, Flykin, sure. The one with the sandwich. That was the mission with Gus Grissom, Dave. So that was Gemini 3. Gemini 3 and Gemini 12 are the missions that John Young flew for the Gemini program. Then he did Apollo 10, went to the moon, tested the LEM, and actually, John Young was... You know what I never realized, fellas? I never realized that... Was John Young the first to fly around the lander around the moon? They had flown the lander around Earth previously on Apollo 9. Yeah, Snoopy. It's still out there, Dingleberg, somewhere. Yeah, Squall, I covered it. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know, Celtic, unless I'm misunderstanding what was asked. Is there, if Lycan's asking if there's any footage from Apollo on the dark side of the moon, I'd assume he's talking about when they orbited that side, because yeah, I know no missions went down there. No one's ever been to the far side of the moon. Soonty, I went to Houston recently and saw the shuttle and Falcon 9 outside the museum. Oddly enough, the Falcon 9 is smaller than I expected. Really? Interesting. It's not really dark. Yeah, you don't call it the Dark Side of the Moon. That's Dark Side of the Moon is a Pink Floyd album. Good album at that. It's pretty good. It's the Far Side of the Moon. The Far Side of the Moon does get sunlight. Sure. Young flew the first Gemini crewed flight and the last one, if I'm remembering correctly, short line. And then Apollo 10, he walked on the moon, an extended duration mission with Charlie Duke on Apollo 16. And he was the first guy to fly the space shuttle on STS-1 with Bob Crippen. And he was the first guy to fly the space shuttle twice on STS-9. Yep. He was going to go for a 7th space flight short line. And his 7th and final space flight was supposed to be deploying the Hubble Space Telescope. True story. But he retired after Challenger. He took a desk job at NASA, if I'm remembering correctly. I'm assuming Apollo 13 is when they brought back moon dust for Cave Johnson. Well, flagging it would have been Apollo 15, 16, or 17. Just saying. End of the Krantz book. There was a lot of discussion about it, and even stolen computer time to prove it could be done. But it was axed during the Apollo 14, 15, and 16 missions. Oh, yeah, Celtic. But they already had all the landing sites. What was it? I'm not going to say it was from Surveyor. But yeah, either way. I still want somebody to double check my math. I say that if Booster 1060 does one more trip to orbit, it will exceed the total mass to orbit of Saturn V during the Apollo program. When you say during the Apollo program, Skogs, are you talking about total mass to orbit or more mass than a single Saturn V launch? Because I think I misunderstood your question last time. Was Charlie Duke the chaotic goofball? Charlie, when I met him, Cerebral, he's a good dude. Yeah, he seemed very happy that I was there to actually listen to what he had to say, and I wasn't just there to get him to sign stuff. Yeah, dude, I started talking to him, and he liked me so much, he came over and played Kerbal with me later. Your boy has played Kerbal Space Program with astronauts that have been to the moon. True story. Probably one of the high points in my streaming career thus far. Do you have a video? Yeah, we do, Shortline. I gotta get that back. We gotta get the videos back up. I had to take it all down because of the Twitch DMCA nonsense. Apollo had other things, and those don't count, and Skylab doesn't count. Mass to orbit for the program on a Saturn V. Apollo had other things, and that doesn't count. I disagree, and Skylab doesn't count. I still disagree. Skylab's part of the Apollo Applications Program. It's literally in the name. Yeah, God, dude, I don't even remember launching that Saturn V. I don't even remember. I don't even remember doing it. Because my brain was just numb because I was standing next to Charlie Duke. I was standing next to a person that's walked on another celestial body. My brain was just... Dude, I don't remember him saying that. I'm serious. I blanked that from memory. I don't remember him doing that. That whole thing of me playing KSP with him, I do not remember him saying that. I'm not even kidding. I'm not even making that up. It's nuts. I don't remember him saying it, dude. Like, my conscience, like, freaking poofed up here, and little EJ on my shoulder is like, dude, you're standing next to someone that's been to the moon. You know that, right? And I'm like, the other one pops up. Yeah, it's like, dude, he knows. He has to play Kerbal. Shut up. You're streaming. And this other guy's like, yeah, this opportunity only comes around once in a lifetime. You should probably savor the flavor. Pfft. No, don't zone out. You're streaming. Don't screw up the Saturn V launch. It's like, what do I do? Skip it up. Yep. That crane moves 180 tons. Ask me how I know. That's right, Gaw. Mm-hmm. Trucks. The scat, man. Skip it up. Skip it up. Crane moved to work on a different section of the Mega Bay. Crane, where are you going? Come back. Hey. Wait. Why is the railing upside down? The railing's upside down. Must be an Australian crane. Yeah, I made that joke. Whoa. That's a huge telescoping crane with an extended boom on it. That's nuts. Also, nice for... It's for Spider-Man. Hey, Lab Padre. That's Lab Padre's truck. I'm pretty sure that's his. He has the Suburban. Yeah, Lab Padre. Adam, Tier 3 2-monther. Oh, hey, look, I've been here 2 months. Tier 3. Woot woot. Oh, damn, man. Thank you. Holy crap. Thank you very much. Dude, Tier 3 subbing. Thank you very much, my guy. That is extremely hard to do. Yeah, goalie. Yeah, this, right? Like, if you turn, the thing's gonna... They put a crane inside of a pickup truck. Whoa! Okay. That's a nice crane. Nice telescoper, huh? Dude, look at how long the freaking the boom extension is. Jeez. All right. Yeah. You know what's crazy? That crane is small compared to the lattice crane that's sitting over there. Ba-dum. Ba-da-dum. What's that used for? That crane? That crane's used for lifting components up to the mega bay. Whatever they're doing up there. Shipped aft barrel with quick disconnect. Up there. Skip it up, boop. Boop. Now I got the Scatman stuck in my head. We did that with the 750. We have a 39A a while back. Had 300 foot of jib in her. It took a full day to go down the ramp. Oh, I'd believe that. Is that a bad thing? No. I'd rather have the salami lid stuck in my head. The salami lid ain't gonna fit. Nope, ain't gonna fit. The salami lid. The salami lid ain't gonna fit. Hold up a second. Hold up, you salami lids. Look. So in the permanent construction facility down here, this is called the tentative name is Star Factory. This thing right here, they're replacing the tents over here with Star Factory. If you notice, fellas, see these gray beams right there? Gantry crane tracks all day. I like cranes. I don't know if you knew that. Those are tracks for gantry cranes. This is going to be some hardcore assembly line stuff going on here. Starship launch weight is eating me alive. Yeah, I know, Nut. You got to be patient. My pick. Privet. What's up, man? Sorry I missed you, dude. They freaking Europeans delayed the launch and it delayed like 2 hours, man. I'm sorry. I really wanted to hang, but it's all good. I wonder how someone ends up controlling these giant cranes. So much responsibility. Probably needs to be an engineer at least. Nope. Dude, no need to apologize. It's literally a job. Yeah, I feel bad though. Every time somebody comes up here, I always end up being like, no, I can't because I have to do something. Like, and people come to Boston, viewers come to Boston a lot more than you'd think. Those damn Europeans, Adam. Yeah. Can I hold down now? Yeah, sure. Go ahead. Anyway, thanks for the resub, man. I do appreciate it. And Bram Navans gifted you a sub Mavans, and you hit the resub Mavans button. So with cranes, you don't. Well. Can't because I have to work. Seems like a good excuse to me. I had enough time through a very pretty city. I like your transportation infrastructure. Very nice. I told you. It's pretty good. It's not the best. It's not the worst, though. Could have none. Probably have some engineering knowledge. Squall, goalie operates cranes. In chat, goalie, what is the requirements to be a crane operator? Please. Probably just a CDL. Don't be dumb. Yeah, there you go. Is there like a certification that you have to get, goalie, or something? You have to get a crane cert. You have to be certed to move certain payloads and drive certain types of cranes, right? Two arms and two legs, I think. I mean, probably help. How much could a crane chuck if a crane could chuck crane? My head. There are certification licenses that you need. So, goalie, if I'm remembering correctly, in Squall, escucho, por favor. If I'm remembering correctly, you have to get these certifications, and you go to a crane training area. Yeah, there's a crane. They're all around. There's crane school basically, and you practice moving. You just literally pick stuff up and put it down all day. I mean, that's what you do with cranes usually. But there's it's just a big parking lot with a bunch of cranes in it, and you just pick stuff up and move it. You got to go to truck driving school. Truck driving school, yeah. But what do I do? Where do I go? Is that the Big Rig Wrecker? Who's Big Rig Wreckers? Is yours a Big Rig Wreckers? Mine? Oh, that's cool, man. There are schools you can go to, or you can become an apprentice like what I did. Well, there you go, Squall.
Discovery, go at throttle up.
Keep in mind, fellas, I'd like to add that apprenticeships pay you. You get paid to learn, as opposed to paying to learn, like school. Like college, just saying. That's not right for everybody, but it is right for some people. Crane to crane combat, round 3, fight. Man, can I just picture two cranes trying to lift each other up? I need an apprentice also if anybody's in the Cape area. How long does an apprenticeship take, goalie? I still got it stuck in my head. Damn it. I got paid to learn HVAC and I've never regretted it. It's always good to pick up a trade. Side hustles are great, Captain, right? Okay, gotta bounce. You're awesome. When is our next launch stream? Do we even know yet? 21st. Falcon 9, baby. Depends on how fast you learn. 2 years for me. Last, did you know that they had that? I want to go to that heavy machinery playground. They have all types of heavy machinery in a big sandbox. Basically, adults can go in and just mess around. Yep. Yeah, I knew about those, Flykin. Yeah. Hey, Moist, 41-month resub. Oh, hi. How are you? Yeah, Contra, yeah. Cranes lifting cranes. Another Starlink? Yep. Some people take a lot longer. Yeah. Goalie, what's the pay start at for an apprentice? Just out of curiosity. Yeah, Squall. In case you're wondering who you're talking to, Goalie drives this thing around. Yeah, it's a little bit smaller version of literally that crane that you just saw. Yeah, a little bit smaller version of that. Yeah, that's a cool. It's a cool telescoping roller crane. Pretty sweet. What do you got back there? What's back there? What do I see back there? Another good telescoper back there. Oh, I think I see a Liebherr logo right there. Nice, man. She looks good. Yeah, Contra, they have the crane lifting the crane lifting the crane. That's a cool one. Crane-tacular. Join the military and you get crane training. That's correct. Yeah. Actually, yeah, if that's your cup of tea, or coffee, because tea belongs in bodies of water, yeah, you can operate cranes in the military. There's always demand for a job like that. The military is literally the masters of picking things up and putting it down over there. Yeah, I need you to get me this tank and put it over there. In another life, fellas, that's probably what I would have ended up doing. I probably would have ended up picking up a trade. In fact, I'm probably still gonna pick up a trade, dudes. We're gonna learn to weld. We're gonna learn to weld in that garage when that happens. Oh yeah, welders make a lot of money. Doesn't make a lot of money. I wonder if there are people here who don't get the tea jokes. Maybe. If it took 2 years to learn to drive that, how long does it take for the biggest one? Let's just say they don't let anybody go near the cranes that aren't experienced operators. Yeah, okay, see, someone's like tea. Geeson, were you here about the iced tea thing that I was telling you about? Take your tea, put it in the fridge, put some sugar in it, leave it there for an hour, come back, pour it over ice. You'll thank me later. If you use your cranium, you can go through apprenticeships faster. Yep. It'll be good for this warm weather, Geeson. Trust me on this one. Yep, there's the other actuator for the chopsticks. Yeah, I mean, guys, you don't need to go get an aerospace engineering degree to work in a space program. These guys, the guys that are working all here, they're all trades. That's all trades. It's all HVAC. It's electricians, so industrial welders to build the thing. Industrial welders, HVAC guy, industrial HVAC, industrial electricians, crane operators, heavy lift movers, truck drivers. That's all trades. You don't need a college degree for any of that stuff. You could go do an apprenticeship and you can get paid. You get paid during your apprenticeship. And they train you and they pay you while they train you. Once again, that's not everybody's cup of tea. And the truth is that if you want to design rockets, if you want to be the guy that designs them, like Tom Mueller, like Elon Musk, stuff like that, then you have to go to school. You have to go to school for that. That's the design part. That's the part where you need to go to school. You can't get an apprenticeship doing that. That's not a thing. Yeah, CNC operators, machinists, oh man, you make tons of money doing that. Don't get me wrong, it's a lot of physical work, but you can make a lot of money doing it. Just saying. Once again, it ain't for everybody. It's not everybody's cup of tea. Sometimes you have to go to school, and there's no problem with that. There's no problem with doing either one. It's just that not a lot of people know that that's an option. Everybody thinks, oh, you got to go to college. You got to go to college. Well, the truth of the matter is it depends on what you want to do. So, the next bit of Starship footage that I got coming from NSF here is the Spin Prime test. They did a Ship 24 test yesterday, and it didn't result in an explosion. So here's the footage from that. Could you imagine a CNC in EJ's hands? Hold on, pause real quick. Zero, did I tell you about the second time I did a house walkthrough with my parents of the house that we bought? My dad walked into the garage, and I'm like, dude, look at this. I could put a lift in here. Isn't this great? My dad's walking around the garage, and he's like, and I'm like, yeah, you could put a lift. Isn't this great? Isn't this great, Dad? And my dad's just looking around, literally just ignoring what I have to say. After like 15, 20 seconds, he looks at me and goes, you could fit a Bridgeport in here. And I'm like, you could fit a Bridgeport in here. You could fit a Bridgeport. You are right. You are right. My dad's a machinist by trade. Funny enough. He's like, you could fit a Bridgeport in here. Should do that. I'm like, all right. I mean, are you asking or are you telling? You know, it's always a good thing when it doesn't run. Absolutely. Rapid unplanned disassemblies are no good. Yeah. Yep. That's my dad. He's like, yeah, should put a Bridgeport in here. Bridgeport is a piece of machinery. It's a machine, a lathe or a press. It's not a CNC machine, but it is a machine. You can use it to make stuff. Use it to fabricate parts. He's like, yeah, get a Bridgeport in here. Teach you how to use it. I'm like, I love you. He's like, what? I'm like, nah, nothing. Nothing? I'll see you tomorrow in class, Miss Vaughn. Vent. What? What are they trying to show there? Someone say CNC? Nothing. Bobby, if you weren't my son, I'd give you a hug. Do I look like I know what a JPEG is? I just want a picture of a gosh dang hot dog. Probably going to need a 3-phase 220 going into the... I know, yeah, dude, I know. So, they're basically doing the same test that they did with Booster 7 the other day, where they basically spin start the engines and basically shoot a bunch of propellants out the bottom, right? They did a spin start test with SN24 yesterday, or S24. I can't call it SN24 anymore. And it's basically testing the starters for the engines. All of Starship's starting mechanism is on board, from what I understand. But yeah, you can see that they're filling her up with some stuff. My God, that thing is so cool. What are those heat shields on it? Those are toughened unifibrous reinforced oxidation resistant, corrosion resistant tiles. Tough rock for short. They're a carbon ceramic composite tile. Yeah, that's the darker part on Starship. That was the spin test right there. There is a dedicated panel, Dave, in the garage. It's only 50 amp service, though. We get it, Starship. You vape. This was after the test. They did a chill down here. Rocket question. What uses more fuel volume, RTLS or tugging a barge all the way back to land? Bill, I think a better metric would be, probably be energy consumed, don't you think? Because I don't think the drone ship uses RP1 for fuel. Am I right? I'm pretty sure Falcon 9 is more energy. It's a good question, though. Oh yeah, that'd be cool. You need to have this. What is that, W? Is that a thing that makes PCBs? Yeah, Brink. That's rad. Yeah, you can see it on Falcon 9 too. The thing is, it's just a little more difficult on Falcon 9 because Falcon 9's painted white. So it's hard to see frost accumulating on it. You kind of have to look for the condensation. Diesel probably costs more than RP1 at the moment. I don't know, man. RP1 and diesel aren't super different. I honestly think, I don't know. I would think the rocket has to. The rocket has to. See last, it's a pick and place machine, okay? This is the biggest crane you have. Yeah, she's a beast mode crawler transport. So check this out. This is what Goalie sent it over to me. Look at this thing. You guys want to see a big crane? Look, it's literally like, it's like NASA's crawler transporter. Look. It's a freaking double or quadruple bogey crawler crane. Koala crane. It's a quadruple bogey, meaning you have 2 treads here, 2 treads there, 2 treads on the other side, 2 treads on the other side. That's the big boy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 tracks on 4 bogies. It's a freaking monster. And that's a fact. And an H fact. I'm not a car guy. Could you get a car engine to run on RP1? Diesel engine, sure. Yeah, a diesel engine would work. Not a gasoline engine. Gasoline engine would not end well. You'd break the motor. A diesel engine, absolutely, Nutbuster. RP1 is, Bill's right. RP1 for like Falcon 9's liquid fuel and diesel fuel are very close in like the family tree of petrochemicals or hydrocarbons. Gasoline is like its own thing, dude. Believe it or not, there's bunker C heavy fuel oil, which is like way over here in terms of ridiculous like slop fuel. Gasoline is like super refined. It's way over here. RP1 is more similar to Jet A or kerosene or diesel fuel. Those are all kind of next to each other in the distillation hierarchy of hydrocarbons. Basically, and this is, so if anybody wants to know a little bit about oil and how it works, they pump crude out of the ground. and then they heat it up. They distill it. They heat it up inside of a huge tower, and at each level there's a collector. And when you heat it up, like the crude oil separates out, and each collector collects a different type of hydrocarbon. So like there's one that will be refined into diesel fuel. There's one that will be refined into gasoline. There's one that will be refined into bunker C. But yeah, not on that kind of distillation hierarchy, right? Diesel fuel, RP1, kerosene, Jet A, those are all really close to each other. Gasoline is not like, dude, gasoline is totally different. It's like, it's not totally different, but it's a different, it's not like in the same family tree. It's like an in-law to like diesel fuel, if I have to put it that way. That one there is only 20 people in the States licensed to run her. Big Brother, 31K. That Maxim is there only has 3 in States licensed. Damn, dude. Yeah, gasoline, the stuff that goes into your car is like super refined. So, yeah, it's super refined comparatively like crude. Like if we're talking like bunker C is close to crude oil. Gasoline is really far away from crude oil, like in terms of distillation. Yeah, gas is weird, man. Man's evolution, discover fire, light everything on fire, progress. Yeah, bunker C fuel oil, so that's like what container ships and stuff run on. It is like petroleum jelly almost. Think like Vaseline. It's almost like that. So bunker C is like molasses. It's just, you ever seen Fern Gully? Yeah, like that. Like the tar monster. That's what bunker C is. It's icky stuff. But if you heat it up, it is an insanely efficient fuel. Yeah, they use it. That's how like a container ship has just one big diesel motor. It's an inline 6 diesel motor that's the size of a small house, and they run it on bunker C. And yeah, that's how a container ship can move. Like, dude, I don't even know what the payload of a container ship is. It can move a couple thousand tons of whatever across the ocean on like one tank of gas. Notoriously efficient for what it is. Steam engines also run on bunker C. If anybody was wondering, if anybody likes trains, the steam engine meta, the last kind of huge innovation to steam engines was making them run on bunker C, because bunker C can burn really, really hot, and that's really good for a steam engine. It made steam engines way more efficient. But then they got like bitch slapped by diesel engines, because diesel is, our entire civilization is built off of diesel. Dead serious. Yeah, diesel. Yeah, diesel. That food in the grocery store got there from a truck running diesel. All the monitors, all the electronics goods that you have in your hand, diesel. All diesel. It all got here because of diesel. The Union Pacific G-Tels use bunker C. That's right. Yep. Is that like Vin Diesel? Yeah, family is very important. Family of hydrocarbons. Anyway, let's get back over it. Why is gas a liquid in the USA? Never got that. Gas is a slang term, Foz, short for gasoline, which is what it's called. It has nothing to do with fluid gas, like what you're breathing. Oh, it's better than calling it petrol. Jeez, that's more letters. Don't like that. Every piece of construction equipment is diesel. School bus, diesel. Greyhound bus, diesel. Trains around here, diesel. It's electric. It's electric in Europe. But we have electric trains around here too, to be fair. My house, diesel. Yeah, hospitals have diesel generator backups. Absolutely, keeps people alive. Oh yeah. We ain't weaning ourselves off diesel anytime soon. But also, diesels are really cool. They make lots of power. Cargo ships? Cargo ships use bunker C. But, Kev, they use bunker C in a diesel engine. Yeah, true story. My sidewalk, diesel. My dog, diesel. My truck, diesel. Bunker C looks like the result of, how can we have coal that's liquid? Your mom, diesel. No, your mom's bunker C. Because she thick. Got him. Guy's putting thermal protection systems on a Starship nose cone there. Diesel nuts. Got him. All right, calm down. see on. All right. I mean, you guys want me to point out how much diesel equipment is being used here? The telehandler right there on the left, or no, I think that's a crane. This man basket, diesel generator. Telescoping crane right there, diesel generator. Yeah, those guys are putting on the cilia. Cilia is the backer that's behind the unifibrous tiles. See the white? See, it looks like an Oreo cookie. The white stuff there? That's what I'm talking about. That's Ship 25's nose cone. It's actually, dude, look at Ship 25. She's really starting to look like a spaceship. That's really, really cool. Man, that thing is spaceship-erific. Yeah, Raven, the tiles, look at that. That looks real succinct. Very nice. Very nice.
Go and throttle up.
Max, 6-month resub, courtesy of Dankelberg. Oh, this again. I guess I'll click it. Oh, yeah, I guess you will. Seriously, though, look at this. Beast. Oh, it looks so nice. That's nice. Sit rep. I'm 5 episodes into Terminal List. It's good. I wouldn't steer you wrong in that one, man. It's real good. There are some scenes, though, that are pretty haunting in there. But also, just, it's very good. Yeah. Terminal List on Amazon Prime. I don't get paid. Watch it. Chris Pratt plays a Navy SEAL. You're welcome. I cringed a little bit at episode 1, but it's good. Yeah, I didn't like that part. But you need some kind of story arc, am I right? The beginning of Shooter was cringe too, but whatever. Yeah, look at dude. You're right. You could see the iterations getting better over time. Oh man, look at that thing. And these are the spares. That's SN15. That one flew. Which booster is that over there? That's booster 4. So booster 4, SN15, and then you have 21 and 22 right here. Biff, you managed to watch October Sky over the weekend. I can see why you like it. Biff, yeah. How about the scene where Homer's going down in the mine and he looks up and he sees heartstrings tugging on the heartstrings. Oh man. It's a good movie. Don't give up. You got to keep going, right? It's good stuff, man. And it's a true story, Biff. That's what's cool. Homer Hickham's one of my freaking personal heroes, man. I love that movie. Yeah, the book. Yeah, of course. Rocket Boys is great too. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, obviously, the book's better. The book's better than the movie, but the movie still gets the point across. The movie gets the point across real well. It's a great freaking movie. It's one of my favorites. A must-see for every space fan. And I'm working in the high bay up there. Look at all the... I was going to say the floor joists up there. I wonder what they're doing. Shipped aft section with... See the Star Factory back there. Check with guard before proceeding. Bum, 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 bum. See that Toyota right there? Diesel. Actually, propane. For these smaller vehicles, sometimes they run, I tell you what, boys, sometimes they run off propane and propane accessories. I watched a movie in middle school science class. That Buster, that was my first exposure to it, yeah. I plan to watch October Sky. Is it good? Liam, it's one of my favorite movies. It's good. What the hell? Just casually moving this around. All right. Oh. Hang on. Excuse me.
Hello, baby.
Hello, baby. It looks like Watto's junk shop, Bill.
Punitake Maria, Hotmins, Minatataki Tisuputita Nolia. Fipaneaga, Tobidatan Kidanko. Outlanders, they come here, they no buy what nobody buys. They come here, they mess up my store.
I mean, you're not wrong.
Discovery, go.
You know what, Max? That's totally all right. So this is Raptor 5.9, good number. Oh, that's a RC. That's a Raptor Center. See the gimbal? Look at that. Look at how chonky that thing is. It's got to be able to hold the rocket engine to the rocket. Look at that thing. Yeah, there's your thrust vector actuator. It's still hydraulic. Elon actually said on Twitter the other day that there's going to switch the TVC to an electric linear actuator, which is, yeah, that's cool. There's not many rockets that do that. Just need more sand and them that actuator though. Yeah, so this is see this thing up here. See how the mount is kind of like bent. It's because it's on a hinge. It does this, and then the mount that it's attached to is a giant circle that goes around the LOX. That's the LOX turbo pump inlet tube right there. That's the one that's covered in red. And that part is hinged too, so that thing can move back and forth and then left and right. It's kind of like a big ball joint, only not. It's called a gimbal. That's actually an idea that came from oil rigs. Just on a side note, gimbal. The oil derrick's on a gimbal because the sea is doing this. True story. But it is a 360-degree pivotable joint. Yeah, it's called a gimbal. That indicates right here that is one of those engines. You can tell they gimbal because of the way it is. See the 360-degree movement from the engines? Well, not 300. You get the idea, 360 degrees. It's 15 degrees of gimbal off the center line, if you really want to know. It's a big U-joint? Yeah, pretty much 2020. Yeah, it's like a big U-joint. Same idea. But it's fixed. What if I want a false story? Okay, a false story. The hydrocoptic marsal vein is fitted to the ambificient lunar wane shaft connected in panendermic semi-boloid slots of this insulated stator. There's a false story. Hello from Jacksonville. It's been raining every freaking day. You did go to the beach, though. That's good. That is a beast mode of an engine. 2,400 kilonewtons of thrust from that thing. At 380 specific impulse. 300 bar chamber pressure. Just... oh, chef's kiss, man. Chef's freaking kiss. Mwah. Yeah, 15. There's nothing, Max. I can't think of any other rocket engine or primary propulsion system for anything that moves at 15 degrees gimbal. I can't think of one. The shuttles are 10.5. And I'm sure there's another one, but I can't think. There's not many that gimbal into the double digits like that, dude. So there you go. All right, fellas. Well, that's all I have for you for space news today. Fellas, we are not going to do after hours tonight because, well, NASA has a press conference on Artemis 1 tomorrow, and that's at 11. Of course, I was going to wake up at 11 tomorrow and do errands before I start the stream, but now those have to get done a little bit earlier in the morning, so I need to start winding it down. So, that's going to do it for space news. Did they do the same test on Starship that caused the boom on Booster 7? Yeah, a spin start. Yes, pivot. So, that's all I have for you for today. I did appreciate playing Satisfactory with you guys, and maybe we'll play again tomorrow. But yeah, that's going to do it for me for now. I hope you guys enjoyed the stream. Let me see if we can give somebody a raid. I don't know if it does, W. I think it's 8, but I could be mistaken. So, guys, let's see. You guys want to watch Tarkov or GTA RP? Icarus tomorrow? I'll think about it, Hibbit. I'll think about it. Think about it. Night 2020. GTA RP? Alright, let's go see what Haas is up to. So my buddy Haas is playing on No Pixel right now. We'll go give him a raid. I'll put the link in chat for people that want to see it. And I will talk to you guys all tomorrow. See you tomorrow.